If your job at a healthcare facility includes disinfecting against viruses, you know prevention is the best medicine, and maintaining healthy spaces starts with a healthy cleaning routine. Grainger's world-class supply chain helps ensure you have the quality products you need when you need them, from disinfectants and cleaning supplies to personal protective equipment, so you can help deliver a clean bill of health. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
You are now listening to the Someone's Favorite Productions podcast network.
Hello there, everybody, and welcome back to Reconnected. Another Thursday here for all of you. This time, brand new, first-time guest that I'm very excited to be here. One of the most compelling graphic designers for Blu-ray covers of our time, Mr. Sam Smith. Welcome.
Welcome to you. Thank you for having me. Sam Smith, not the singer, Sam Smith.
Yes, absolutely different thing. It's good to see you. I'm so glad that you're here. This is so cool.
Yeah, thanks for having me. Super fun. Big Blu-ray collector as well, cinephile, the whole 9 yards. Excited to talk about all this.
Well, the first thing, obviously, with Sam being first time here, all of the social links and all that stuff are in the description. Website is there. The shop is there. Open that in another tab. Save it for later. I think most of it is sold out at the moment, but I'm going to be watching for prints soon because I somehow don't have anything from you. But it is so much of an honor to have you here because there's so many things that you've designed over the years that are just some of the most memorable covers, and I am so eager to get to know you.
Oh, thanks, man. That's too kind.
Also musician and done all kinds of stuff. Podcasting. It's incredible. So make sure you follow everywhere. We got somebody asking if you're on Letterboxd, which I know you are.
Yeah, I can just drop that in the chat too. I'm in the chat, so. But yeah, Sam Smith pretty much everywhere. Twitter, Instagram, YouTube. I make some YouTube videos every now and then with like film stuff, sometimes opening Blu-rays and whatnot. Or process videos on my work. So yeah, YouTube is a thing. Instagram definitely because visual medium, lots of poster images, all my graphic design stuff is there. And then Letterboxd and
incredible. You have been doing this for quite some time now. How did you first get into art in general?
Yeah, R1133. That's right. I drummed with Ben Folds.
That is mind blowing. I adore Ben Folds.
Oh, cool. Okay, cool. So how did I get into God? Okay, so obviously as a kid, loved art. Ed Emberley drawing books. Have you heard of those?
I believe so.
Okay, so they're like the step-by-step drawing books. That's what I think of as like first like drawing stuff. Just loved cartooning, drawing, and then also making movies with my dad. So I had a very like artistic childhood with my dad. Like my dad's an artist, so
nice.
He does all kinds of medium, but we would make movies and stuff. So I was doing like puppet movies, which of course I love stop motion animation as a result, but like we would do home movie not parodies, but my own spins on certain things. Like we had Bear Man for Batman and La La Scissorhands for Edward Scissorhands. So it was like I grew up and turned like 10 years old in 1991, like absolutely perfect time. Early 90s, late 80s, early 90s movies. Just became obsessed with movies as well. And so I would do my own posters. Like even as a kid, I would draw the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles poster. I would do the Dick Tracy, try to draw the Dick Tracy logo and all that stuff. So that whole era of like Dick Tracy, Batman, Turtles, Tim Burton, like early 90s, like T2, like that's my era and got me into movies. So always loved movies, always did drawing and stuff like that. And then once we got to middle school and high school, I'm doing like posters for my school, posters for events and all that stuff. So I always loved posters. And then was like collecting them from the movie theater too. Like I would go up at the multiplex and ask for the posters because they always had tons. So I have like a good stash of like 90s movie posters in my flat file. They're pretty crumpled up. Some of them are crumpled up, but anyway, so always loved them. And then, studied, did music in high school, drumming, just all sorts of the arts. I was just like really brought up in the arts, so all kinds of things. But really after college and touring for a bit, I had this kind of light bulb go off. It was when like all the Mondo silkscreen screen prints were going around, getting really big. Mondo was huge. And I was like, well, I want to be part of that, but I don't want to I can't compete with like the Tyler Stouts and the Ollie Mosses. Like I want to do my own thing. And how can I do that? Yeah. Basically went to the Belcourt, which is our local art house theater. We have a great nonprofit art house in the country, one of the best in the country. And I've known them there because I've been a regular, and I kind of said to them, can I try a couple of prints for screenings? And I kind of like wanted to create a portfolio of work that kind of pulled in all my influences of basically like Cuban posters, Polish posters, Czech posters, all that stuff that I kind of was really into like on an academic level. And it was like the style was like, oh, I can do this. I can't draw like Aaron Horkey or someone like that, but I can do not minimalist, but more reduced, iconic kind of things. Yeah. And that's how I kind of started a portfolio, did some Belcourt prints. And that quickly led to the House thing, which wasn't far after that, where Belcourt had House as a midnight movie. There you go. It's my claim to fame. I peaked like 20 years ago. What can I say? I peaked early. And the House poster, I did it as a midnight movie poster, and Janice was not sure if they were going to show the whole thing or even do a Criterion. They had this restoration, and it went well. Next thing you know, they want to use my poster for the nationwide re-release of House and do it for the Blu-ray. And then I started working with Criterion and off to the races with key art, theatrical posters, Blu-rays, and just movie art.
That is a huge deal to get a title like House that, I think because it's so huge now, a lot of people don't realize before what year did House start with you? Like 2007?
Yeah, 7, 8.
So before then, House wasn't really known. It had not had this revitalization in the U.S. yet. Like it was sometimes shown at like the Japanese Society in New York, but that was like the max of its height of popularity. And since then, it's exploded. But to get your name associated with that as it's rising to popularity, that's got to be like the biggest strike of luck in that moment.
Yeah, it was absolute luck, just like lightning striking at the right time. And even like designing that poster, it was done very quickly, like way more quickly than I've designed anything else. Because I just wanted to, but it was partly like strategic. People ask me for advice and stuff. I always say, well, try to go after the clients you want, try to create work that your clients are going to see. So, okay, here Janus Films has this, and I can do a poster for Belcourt. They're letting me do it. I don't have to sign a license or anything. And they're going to see it. So there you go. Like, I was like, I want to get this poster. Like I want to do the whole thing. But we even then we didn't know what a phenomenon the movie would be, because the midnight movie sold out. Then they did midnight movies everywhere else. Yeah. It was lightning striking at the right time.
I mean, to get associated with Criterion and Janus at all is something that most people strive for. Oh, and now you've had tons of covers that you've done. Here's Kuroneko. Yeah. One that is not heralded enough. I actually really like the iconography of this one. Carlos.
Oh, thank you. That came from the poster, because I did the theatrical poster for IFC Films, and IFC and Criterion. They poured them in, and some of them changed the art a little bit. There's actually a fun fact about that. In the poster, he has a gun, and for some reason, Criterion wanted to remove the gun for the DVD, for the Blu-ray. So I kind of begrudgingly agreed. I mean, it's their call, but there is no gun in the Criterion version. Just a little trivia. But Criterion is the dream job, man, like for any designer. So, throughout college, I studied cinema studies at NYU at Tisch. Not filmmaking, just like cinema studies, which is basically English major type of thing. You're reading about film, you're writing about film, you're watching tons of films. And yeah, every time I had extra money, I just go down to Kim's Video and buy Criterions, and stack them up. So that was my thing.
Kim's Video mentioned. Everybody's got to love that. That's a big deal.
Yeah.
Funny enough, in the chat, Sibner, reading my mind, I was going to ask, you did the pretty iconic World on a Wire cover art, and then Arrow Video announced a title that had art that was very similar. Can you speak on that at all?
Yeah, you just have to laugh about it. I mean, it was during a transitional time at Arrow because Fran, who does Radiance, he was on his way out, and I actually worked with Arrow prior to that, and we had a couple great projects together.
Yeah, Bound is great.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, so did Bound, did Theater of Blood, and then I just saw that it went around on Twitter. People were tagging me like before I even noticed, and I just like I'm not going to be. You don't even have to be a dick about it. You just have to email Arrow and be like, "Hey, you stole the art." And then they're like, "Oh, wow, we really did. Sorry. How can we?" That's all the story is. I don't know the designer. They clearly ripped it off, but it's interesting that a lot of times there's similarities and like echoes in graphic design. Something will look like something else. Whether it's intentional or not is always up for debate. It's usually not, but in that case, you kind of can't help but think they did that. And it's like, why would you do that? So it was funny. And Fran made good on it later by, hooking me up with some Radiance things. I just got my first Radiance copy of my first thing I did just today. So
I have not been able to get that one in yet, but I can't wait to get it. It's one of my most anticipated from them. It looks great. The other one that's a big deal right now, of course, is getting in with OCN. This was the one that Celeste Le Cabra commented on my announcement post for Brimstone and Treacle, which is cool. Gorgeous.
Thank you.
And then this just came in the last day and a half.
Nice.
Love Crime.
Love Crime.
And then I've got the other Cinematograph on the way in my next shipment as well. How'd you get in with them?
So basically... my Criterion era was like a while ago. I did several things with them, and then I've toured off and on. So it's like I've kind of come in and out of doing key art. Some years have been more busy than others, but just something about the last year and a half of like what's gone on with physical media. Like I've always collected Blu-rays, but I was really like sleeping on it for the last 5 or 6 years, like getting Criterions on flash sales, but other than that, really not buying anything. And then all of a sudden, I just kind of like realized how much great stuff is out there. It was like, and I was like, oh my God, like it kind of all clicked at the same time, just with Radiance. I think Fran had reached out to me and I was like, oh wow, Radiance is really doing amazing stuff. And then, wow, I forgot how much great stuff is on Vinegar Syndrome and these other labels, and then finding YouTube channels and then finding you. And I'm like, now I'm just like obsessed with collecting Blu-rays again. It's very bad. But I think it was just like, I want to, for anyone, like it's not the same as it was before COVID. You as a designer, you just can't get the rates you used to get. There's a lot of stuff being done in-house and whatnot. But I was like, I still want to be a part of what these different labels are doing, even if I just do a couple things for a few of them. Like I want to be part of the library, and kind of like get in on what the cool stuff they're doing. So Justin just said, hey, you want to? I emailed him. I was like, hey, let me know if I can do anything for you guys. I still didn't even understand like how Justin, like he does everything. Yeah. And he's like, hey, do this one for Cinematograph. And so I just took it, So I'm not being choosy. I'm just kind of like whatever anyone wants me to work on, give it a go. And the cool thing about these boutiques and the budgets being lower is like they're like no notes. Just like do your thing, and that's ideal because like I want to say, okay, here's my work. I make great covers. I hope you think so. And so we don't have to do like 20 versions of a cover, which is what you do when you work for a big studio or something like that.
I've got probably 5 or 6 others with your art on the front, but one more that I wanted to shine a light on because nobody ever talks about the smaller companies like Cinema Guild, which you've done work for, or the first one that I got that I didn't know was you that did the art that made me appreciate it so much more. Grasshopper Films.
Thank you. You love.
This is such a beautiful piece of key art.
Thank you. And well, it's just I always just go back to the film. It's just I love Hamaguchi, man. Like that one in particular is underappreciated just because Drive My Car was so acclaimed. And it's a different kind of movie, but yeah, thank you. I'm proud of that one. And Grasshopper is always Ryan and what he's doing. Ryan Kriboshe with Grasshopper is awesome. I love doing anything he wants to do with me. So I've done a few there, and those have been great.
Tonight, after the announcements, we're going to talk real deep about some more of your stuff.
Okay, cool.
Do more of a interview style segment. But before we get into all the physical media stuff, what are you super into? What are some of your favorite labels? What kind of film do you like to watch?
Wow, that's a good question. I love all the labels. Yeah, it's interesting. Like Criterion is still the canon, if you will, of a certain library of all time greats. And I've always kind of gone by that book and love a lot of those auteurs that you see in Criterion. I particularly love what I and others have maybe called cinema of childhood. So particularly children. Not just children's films, but films about childhood, and also not just fantasy films, but oftentimes there is some kind of magical realist, like your Spirit of the Beehive. Miyazaki is like my guy. So like My Neighbor Totoro is like one of my all-time films. Those kinds of films I really loved. Louis Malle. But favorite directors, I mean, Kubrick, Miyazaki, Bresson, Tarkovsky, Kiarostami. Those are that's my like Mount Rushmore kind of. So I really love the really serious, long art house stuff.
Right.
But not as much into horror as most like the collectors. They all love the horror. Yeah. I'm not as much into horror. With horror, I really love something artsy. The Shining, Next of Kin, House, Footprints on the Moon.
Yep.
These are my favorite kinds of genre films. I think there was Kat Ellinger.
Yep.
So she said something on some show, and the term was the fantastique.
Yep.
And I was like, that's it. That's what I like, because I don't like gore. I don't like slasher or anything like that. But anything that's the fantastique, so not necessarily fantasy, but some kind of blend of the real world and something else. That's what I like. And shot well and great scores. I love scores.
Well, after Tarkovsky gets mentioned, how does it feel to have a cover like Solaris associated with you?
That was like, Of probably all emails I've ever gotten, that was the most exciting moment. I'll never forget where I was. I was like in a billiards hall, so playing ping pong.
Was it 1974 for some reason?
No, we just have a cool ping pong hall. But that was an exciting email to get for sure.
I bet.
Yeah.
So let's get into some recent pickups and watches then. What have you been getting?
I've got Okay, so I've been. What do you want? Watches? Pickups?
Whichever one you want to do first. I'll follow your lead.
Let's go pickups.
You got it.
I have a little stack here because I have been. Like I said, I've been picking stuff up.
You're amongst friends. We all want to see it.
And your show actually may or may not have encouraged me to pick up more.
I apologize, and you're welcome.
Okay, so I have a little stack, and I'll try to go fast. And I want to hear yours too, of course.
I've got them ready. Yeah.
Okay. Got this in the flash sale. This is. I wish I had the. Okay, yeah. It was my favorite movie of the year for most of last year. Ryuichi Sakamoto Opus. I love, like I said, I love scores. I love anything Japan. He is incredible. And the idea that he created this piece of art to serve as his final work.
Yeah.
And it's just 2 hours of gorgeous solo piano in black and white cinematography. And if you have to see this in the theater, it is a spiritual experience just to do that. And you just walk out of the theater, just like just absolute meditation,
Amazing.
And those are nice because they're only 15 in the flash sale, the Janus Contemporaries. Okay, this was a blind buy, and I have not watched it yet. I bought this just for the trailer. It's a Severin standard edition, The Seventh Curse, Witch from Nepal. Now, I said I don't love horror too much, but this is a double. The trailer shows both films, and I don't know which one it is, but one of them I know I'm going to love just because the way it looks. And stuff. I don't.
Curse, probably.
Seventh Curse. Okay, so I'm excited to watch it. I bought it blind buy.
The movie is wild.
Okay,
it is a trip. It's so many genres within one. You'll love it.
And I love that kind of stuff. Like I do love. A couple come to mind, like this film Mystics in Bali. Do you know that?
Okay. Mondo Macabro, yeah.
And Lady Terminator, like that kind of a thing. The late, great Jim Ridley, I just have to shout him out. He was the editor of the Nashville Scene and the film critic here. And he passed away. And he's like, everyone who's in part of the Nashville film community just knows him as like the god of film writing and just the nicest guy. And he loved those kind of movies. And so he turned me on to some of those. And so even though I say I don't love horror, if it's something like this that's just really crazy and beautiful and psychedelic, I'm so into that. This was a blind buy as well from a sale. I look for the sales,
Smart.
I know nothing about these films.
Old Arrow title, yeah, nice.
I love discovering more Japanese cinema. There's a lot left for me to find, so I'm curious to check it out. This one I bought for the cover design because it was made by, in my opinion, maybe one of the best in the game, Adam Maida, graphic artist, and he did this one, Neither the Sea Nor Sand.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
And also just reading about the film, I was like, okay, this sounds up my alley. Just like dreamy, kind of gothic, weird art house. That's what I love. And then the rest, these are all just, most of these are just like standard Blu-rays. I should qualify by saying, okay, don't judge me.
I promise I will not.
And the chat, don't judge me. I'm choosing to do this ignorance is bliss thing when it comes to 4K.
Okay.
I have not.
You'll save some money.
I think I'm going to try to commit to just never crossing over.
Okay.
I don't know. Maybe not. Maybe I will. Maybe not. But anyway, I'm if there are better editions out there of some of these, that's fine. There might be.
Yeah.
These are just little things I've always meant to have and like fill out my collection that I love. Attack the Block.
God, I love that movie.
So good, right?
It's perfect.
So fun and underseen.
Yes.
D says good luck with that. Yeah. I have a movie room with a projector, but I feel like, as I get older, my vision's going to get worse.
Yep.
So who cares if I can't see the 4K?
It's going to be blurry anyways.
Ong Bak.
I've not seen this one. Nice.
What?
Yeah, I'm still behind on it.
Okay. I mean, I figure you've seen everything, but yeah, every now and then a great martial arts ballet type movie I really love.
Love them.
This I got. It is one of my wife's top 3 movies, and it is a Christmas tradition. So I wanted to make sure that I had my wife's favorite Christmas movie on Blu-ray. And when she introduced me to it, absolutely fell in love with this film. Meet Me in St. Louis.
Classic.
Just so good. I'm not, when it comes to old Hollywood musicals, it's not particularly my favorite,
right?
But the best ones I really love to appreciate and see. This is just one I've always thought was underrated. The Limits of Control by Jarmusch.
Yep.
Really cool film. And then I think you were talking about Almodovar recently.
I was, yeah.
Yeah. And so that reminded me, I need to make sure I have a couple of his that I don't have. So Pain and Glory is
nice.
An excellent one. And then lastly, this one I had to dig around for a while. It was rare, out of print. Some site was it? Arrow said it. They had it in print again. It was just in the store all of a sudden. Again, I'm like, what? So I bought it. Of course, for months I get notifications. We cannot find your item. I was like, yeah, because you never had it in stock. You don't get my hopes up like this.
Right.
They finally refunded it, and I went to eBay and just tracked it down finally. And this is a segue into watches because it's a Czech fairy tale film which I told you I love fairy tale type things, anything folklore, and I love Polish, Czech, anything from that era in the 60s and so forth. Beauty and the Beast by Juraj Hertz. Awesome. I love this type of thing.
It's an excellent release too.
Yes, and I love these second runs. I've gotten a few others. I love how the spines look, the design system is. I just love it. So yeah, those are my pickups.
Amazing. Second run, for those that we don't talk about second run enough. They are out of the UK, but literally everything they've released has been region free. And they've got a lot of titles that aren't available anywhere else. So if you want, check them out during an Arrow sale. The Arrow store also carries their stuff. And during a sale, they're like £8.
They're so cheap.
It's crazy. Once you get 4 of them, the shipping becomes worth it. So just get 3, 4 or 5, and you can do it very, very cheaply.
Yes.
All right. My recent stuff got in the 2 new Deaf Crocodiles. I Married a Strange Person. This is the Bill Plimpton deluxe edition that they just put out. And then one that Will and I have a visual essay on. This is Freckled Max and the Spooks. This is an incredible reimagining of a miniseries that they took a couple of the episodes and made into a feature-length film. And it's basically got all of the Universal monsters done in a silly way. Probably not fully for kids, but for preteens at least. It's a fun, relatable story. Another one that is a little older, but I had to same as you. I had to track down a version to get this because it went out of print. Watership Down for kids. Beautiful movie, and I missed out on the limited edition. It's one of my favorites, so I had to get it. Nice. And then the last thing is a huge package that came in today, literally today, from Severin. I got In My Skin. This is a French extremity film I've not seen, so eager to see this. This is their first side cut slipcase thing.
Oh, yeah.
And then it came with The House of Psychotic Women, Volume 2.
Nice.
So eager for this. This has Butterfly Kiss, Morgiana, The Savage Eye, and The Glass Ceiling.
Mm-hmm. Morgiana, same director as Beauty and the Beast.
Yes, it is. That was a perfect way to go on about that. The big thing that I had bought with that package that I was more excited for is going to even be hard to show. This is, the Scala Cinema book that is £20 and probably going to be my favorite thing to go through over the next month or so.
I'm not familiar.
Scala Cinema was a theater over in the UK, and it was basically the theater that a lot of the people that we look up to found out about underground cult films of every single type. And they got around the British laws by you had to be a member of this theater to go see something. So you couldn't just get tickets. You had to become a member first. And now they can show you anything because it's a club. And they shared every type of film that you could think of, Cafe Flesh is one of the big ones that they showed many, many times over there. This book itself, it covers so much more of the history than the documentary did. But I will say, the doc itself, incredible. Everybody needs to go check it out. It is a beautiful, beautiful film. Has cut-ins from a lot of people that you'll recognize, famous directors from the last 20 years or so. It is a modern, for somebody that loves film, it is a modern masterpiece that everybody should see.
Okay. And the name of the doc?
Scala, Scala. There's a subtitle that's 20 words long, but yes, all you need to know is Scala. Severin put it out.
Okay, cool.
And then the BFI released it over in the UK as well.
Gotcha. Yeah, I remember hearing about this. Okay.
All right. Recent watches then. What did you get for those? Is Beauty and the Beast one of them?
Yes, I rewatched it. I'd seen it before, back when things weren't as accessible, watching some kind of low quality version of it, which can be cool too. I really love watching a bootleg of something and then years later seeing it as it's intended. That's always fun. But yeah, rewatched that one. I checked off 3 huge ones. Huge. Okay. Dude, I did my first Patushko film.
Wow, what'd you think?
Speechless, dude.
Which one?
I like to go chronologically.
Smart.
Now I know this might be his first feature, like non-animated feature.
I think so.
Yes.
Anyway,
but of the 4 that Deaf Crocodile released, this is the earliest. I love going chronologically. I wanted to jump right into Ruslan and Ludmilla, but I love going in order, seeing how a director evolves, yada, yada, yada. But dude, I was blown away by this. I don't understand all of it historically yet. I'm still reading through some supplements and like want to learn more. I'm really done with history. Like,
yeah, me too.
But I like it's fascinating from a historical perspective. But yeah, just God, the use of miniatures and the effects. I love anything like that. I love mythology, fantasy. Like, just this is what turned me on to Deaf Crocodile. So,
wow, nice.
That's how I found out about them, because that it looked cool. I just saw the Tony Stella cover for Ruslan Ludmilla.
Gorgeous. Yeah,
I love Tony, of course. He's like the most insane artist of our time for movie art. But yeah, that's how I discovered it, and it was amazing.
Great.
Secondly, finally watched this one that I picked up a few months ago. And no, I did not get the limited edition. If anyone's got an extra one, wants to hook me up, I'll send them like a house print or something. But The Keep. Now this is interesting because I love scores and I love electronic music. Tangerine Dream. The Tangerine Dream Keep album. Do you know how complex all this is?
Oh yeah.
Okay, yeah. Okay, so someone gave my friend Jason Shaw, who's another great film critic, gave me a burned CD of The Keep like 20 years ago or something, and it's become like my favorite electronic score ever. Like that album is flawless. Everything that trio did at that time. Also, Edgar Froese's score for Kamikaze '89. If anyone likes this kind of stuff, make sure you hear that one too, because it's very similar. But as it turns out, a lot of the music's not in the movie.
Right.
So I was like, I can't wait to finally watch The Keep, this masterpiece. I'm going to know every music cue. And I was like, oh yeah, I forgot like hardly any of it's in it. But I mean, then you have all the pieces they did make for this that have not been released properly. Right. And so it was fascinating. But I did love the film, man. I have to say, like, I thought it was great. Loves the setting, the effects, I guess some of it's a little unfinished from what I understand. I don't know. I need to again read the supplements, learn how the history of the production. I know is very fraught and everything, but loved it. And then lastly, I'm going back to Deaf Crocodile to check off a major thing, and I don't know what else to say except this is the best thing I've seen in a very, very long time.
Wow, very
long time.
Like, this is such an underrated film,
dude. The fact that on Letterboxd, I'm gonna look again. There are like the low amount of reviews.
Yeah,
just how many people have logged it. That just speaks to how much discovery there is here for people. Yeah, again, check Fairy Tale, the cinematography. Marketa Lazarova was a little tough for me to get through as much as I loved the cinematography. I appreciate it, but it wasn't fully like hitting me in the solar plexus. And this just hit like everything about it as like fairy tale cinema. This is probably the best fairy tale film I've ever seen. Like it is such an undiscovered as of yet gem that now people can watch. So obsessed with this release. So everything, Deaf Crocodile specifically leaning into this like folklore thing and all the Czech films. I'm loving all that. But this was fantastic. Everyone listening, definitely watch it.
Great release. There's so many of theirs, especially in the last year, that have been released that I don't hear people talking about. Like Adela's Not Had Supper Yet is such an underseen, just silly film from them.
Okay.
Yes, people need to go check it out. It is amazing. The Savage Hunt of King Stack that they did, the first one that they did away from Ocean and Vinegar Syndrome, amazing movie, and pretty much hardly anybody has seen it. So yes, please go check some of those underseen titles out. I had a weird week of watches. I'm still trying to catch up on some things with my wife that she has never seen.
Mm-hmm.
And I love that you mentioned the sequel earlier, but I showed her for the first time The Terminator. She had never seen it. And we got done and she laughed and went, ha, I know where like 7 references are from now.
Yeah, totally.
And then we started the sequel. We've not gotten a chance to finish it because I had to watch 2 others for work that I'm going to talk about in a second. But she's loving them. And it's so great to see him with somebody who has literally never seen it and didn't know what to expect.
Yeah.
The twist of Arnie not being the bad guy in the second movie was huge for her.
Yeah, yeah. Perfect. Do you have an affinity for one or the other, or just both equally great in different ways? Or
I mean, they're equally great in different ways because it's kind of a tonal thing. The first one is essentially a slasher film.
Yeah.
And then the second one might be the greatest action movie of all time. So you kind of just got to go with what am I feeling today? If I want to do something that feels a little more Friday the 13th in a way, let's watch The Terminator. If not, it's Judgment.
T2, like when I was, maybe we're around the same age. I don't know. You're probably younger than me, but just being like 11, 12 years old when T2 came out in theaters, seeing that teaser trailer in the theaters, where the guy's been being forged and everything. Whew, dude, like
I just missed it. I think I'm like 3 or 4 years younger than you. I do too. It would have been the perfect time. It is one of those things that there's so much that I missed back then. But the other thing, you brought up Mystic Symboli and Lady Terminator, and funny enough, to let everybody know that next Mono Macabro podcast episode that's coming out, we're talking about 2 of their recent films, one being Cafe Flesh, the second Sayadian film that they've done in the last couple of years. They also did Dr. Caligari. But this movie, wild. I don't think I'd ever seen it before. Cafe Flesh is this weird underground sex film that is not erotic pretty much in any single form. But man, do they have a lot of it on camera. It's a really interesting slice of that life back then. It kind of just captures a piece of society that was really under talked about and undervalued at the time. And now so many of us gravitate to the cults and the underground and the cast aside, that films like this are just, I don't know, like a weird warm blanket of it's odd, but somehow I feel at home while watching it. And then the other one, I loved this movie. They also just put out Bohachi Bushido. This is a samurai film in a way, done by Teruo Ishii. And this is about a gentleman that in the first 30 seconds of the film, he's surrounded and he jumps off of a bridge and tries to kill himself, essentially. And they don't let it happen. And he gets rescued and goes to what is basically a brothel. And I didn't know this was going to turn into basically a sex film too. But there's a lot of nudity in this movie and a lot of violence. And it's that same like Lady Snowblood type of over-the-top violence, which is great. The story itself is very fun. It's a beautiful 4K disc from Mondo Macabro. Highly recommend people check them out. There will be standards on both of those. I think both of the limiteds have sold out, but 4K discs, you'll be able to get them pretty much anywhere. Cool. Great stuff. Mono Macabro, do you have anything from them? It sounds like you like some. No,
I mean, again, like I'm not as I don't watch at the rate probably like you or your viewers do. Like I have so much still to catch up with, you know, and I know everyone feels that way, but I don't know. I just kind of like take my time with like getting to things, and like The Keep. I should have seen that a long time ago, but I was like, I'm gonna wait, and then it kind of pays off because then you get a great release of something. So the time comes and movies find you when they find you. So I'm excited to see more of that. So
yeah, it's going to be a stellar year. I mean, some of the titles that we're going to talk about tonight. First of all,
oh my God, Fabulous Stains. I have to like when I heard that Fabulous Stains news, that's one of my favorites, man.
It's a beautiful movie. Beautiful movie.
Okay, sorry. Go on.
I expected it to be a light week and we'd have a bunch of time to talk about art and stuff. And man, the announcements just kept pouring in this week. It has been crazy.
Okay, well, I'm behind then. I'm excited to see what you've got. Let's start blasting through them.
Let's do it then. First up, just this little indie film called Raging Bull. Imprint is putting all of these out. These are all coming on June 25th, and these are in Australia. This first one, this is Raging Bull, like I said. The big thing is that this has HDR, the Criterion release, or this one has Dolby Vision. I don't think the Criterion one did. Not sure if the Criterion had HDR 10, but yeah, this has an upgrade in the Dolby Vision camp. Lots of extras here. We've got a 2-disc set. There's going to be a Blu-ray disc and a 4K disc. 3-disc set. Two discs with just the films, and then the third disc with tons of extras. There's so much on here, it literally would not even fit on the listing. But Scorsese, I'm sure you got something to say about Scorsese.
Yeah, I mean, I'm maybe not as much of a Scorsese fanboy as like a lot of the guys are, but Raging Bull is probably, I think it's his best film.
Wow.
I mean, I know that's not maybe the most popular opinion, but there are definitely people who would back me on that. Like, it's definitely up there for a lot of people. Yeah, that one, like King of Comedy, After Hours, those are the ones that really. I'm so done with like the Leo Scorsese crime movies. I can't do any more, man. Like the fact that his next 7 projects are all with Leo, I'm just like, dude, don't you want to work with anyone else? You don't have that much time left. Like, change anyway. I can't go on about that, but.
Well, we can talk about another Scorsese because he's also getting New York, New York.
I haven't seen this one yet.
This is one that has needed a decent release for a while. A lot of people call this Scorsese's worst film, primarily because De Niro and Liza aren't known for having the greatest of chemistries. But I don't know. I've not seen this one. This is like one of the handful that I need to get to. Yes. New commentary by Daniel Kramer, friend of the channel. Some new interviews on this, new visual essays. This looks like a really solid release. It's got the director's cut and the European cut. So kind of seems like this has pretty much everything you could want.
That's cool. Yeah, I haven't seen it either. So you need to check it out.
Yeah, this one, especially the art on this looks pretty great. I like that.
Yeah. I like early work too. I like early work by filmmakers.
Yeah.
I'm way more, for example, I'm way more interested in seeing this than his next film, whatever it's going to be.
Right.
I don't know. There's something about when you don't have as much to work with. There is just such a creative era. And I think even as time goes on, people's worst film, you end up appreciating it in a different way. So
I would agree. Completely agree. I mean, look at what we just said about The Keep. That's often called his worst film.
Yeah.
June 25th, we're also getting a Blu-ray of The Man Who Would Be King. This is a film that has gotten a release from Kino here in the States prior, but this is going to be coming out from Imprint. You've got a making of that'll be on this, and then they are announcing more special features, so this should have more than what the Kino does. But this is a Sean Connery and Michael Caine and Christopher Plummer film from 1975. Wow. I've never seen this one.
No, me either. Not maybe my type of thing, unless someone really like forced me to watch it. But what a trio of actors, yeah.
Absolutely. Then we got The Wind and the Lion, another Connery film coming on Blu-ray. This is from 1975. This has Candice Bergen in it as well. This one is going to be getting some new special features as well. There's an audio commentary with the director on here that was archival, but should be getting some new stuff.
That poster is incredible. The original poster art for that.
Yes, it is. It really is. This next one, I am so excited about this title. Lead Belly from 1976 is coming out. This is the first time on physical media ever in the world for this film. This has Roger E. Mosley, who was in Magnum P.I., and then this was directed by Gordon Parks, who is pretty astounding. This was never on disc anywhere. This is going to be limited to 1,500 copies. They're doing a bunch of new special features for this, but no news on the specific extras yet. This will come out later.
Cool. Looks good.
Yeah, this looks amazing. I'm always excited about Imprint because at least one of the titles is like, you've never seen this in HD before. And who else is doing that every single month? That's impressive.
Cool.
And then I think this is the last one from them. J.W. Coop from 1971 is rounding out their slate. This one is not going to get any extras, and it's got Cliff Robertson. That's probably the biggest thing about it. I've never even heard of this one.
No, I got nothing. I'm not going to bog you down if I don't got much to say.
No,
keep moving. I'll jump in when I got something good.
You got it. I forgot about this one. The Onion Field from 1979 is one of the next ones. And this is probably the second one I'm looking forward to a whole lot. Cast on this looks great. This one has an audio commentary from Harold Becker, the director, making of. But you got Ted Danson, Christopher Lloyd, John Savage, James Woods. This is just like peak right up my alley. 1979. This should be great.
Yeah, give me, like, since I'm still catching up on your show, like, who are your top? Who's your Mount Rushmore? Just so I can kind of like get your, or Desert Island Films, 3 of them or something, or 4 favorites, Letterboxd. Give me anything.
Letterboxd 4 favorites is an interesting one because it is not one that I've changed in a long time. My current top 4 on Letterboxd is Green Room from a handful of years ago.
Okay.
Love that movie. Jurassic Park is probably what made me love films when I was a kid.
Nice.
The Muppets Christmas Carol, which is my Christmas movie, and I've got a animal tattooed on my arm.
Dude, that's amazing. Like, I know I said my wife with me in St. Louis, but we kick off Christmas every Thanksgiving weekend with Muppet Christmas Carol.
Nice. And then my 4th one is a lot of people don't even call it a film, but Bo Burnham's Inside from a couple years ago. I think is one of the most important pieces of art to come out in the last 5 years.
It is fantastic.
I could go on and on. As far as labels,
or director, just your like other directors you love.
Ooh, directors. I am, current directors at least, loving Ari Aster stuff, bringing the artistic side to some darkness. Love Robert Eggers, like a lot of people. Grew up on Steven Spielberg stuff, so a lot of that is still just nice, toasty, like comfort food watching. But just like you, I'm still learning. You say it feels like I've seen everything. I've seen most nothing. I'm doing what I can to catch up. I'm very behind. Like we were talking about before we went live, I grew up in a super small town in the desert in California. We only had access to like mainstream stuff. Yeah. So the scratch the surface. What's just under is the stuff that I'm trying to get to right now. Nice. Everything that wasn't on a Blockbuster shelf with 84 copies waiting to be rented out.
Yeah.
I've seen those. I need to get to the other stuff.
It sounds like you're doing pretty good so far. You've seen every obscure film I've mentioned, so.
I mean, I'm trying. A lot of those are semi-big names for physical media nerds. So.
That's true. Cool.
All right. Moving right along, less of my thing. Terrifier 3 from last year is getting a 4K steelbook over in the UK from Signature Entertainment. Should be nothing new here. This has been released on 4K already, but the art is an interesting addition to this one because they really leaned in heavily to the Christmas aesthetic. Are you a sucker for like steelbook packaging or anything like that?
I own 0 steelbooks. I could not care less about them. That's just, I'm in that camp. I don't know why. I do have one steelbook actually. It's the Daft Punk Electroma.
Oh, nice.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yes.
I think it's a DVD.
Yeah, and it's a little bit taller than a Blu-ray one.
Yeah, and it's like it's not even a typical steelbook, but it is a steel case.
I've got a couple random things that are technically steelbooks. I think they're done by the steelbook company. I've got the Guardians of the Galaxy soundtrack. They made a CD steelbook. Mm-hmm. And then I grew up in Southern California, so I was raised on the Lakers. And after Kobe died, they did like a memorial NBA 2K something steelbook, and I had to have it. And it's right there on the shelf for all time.
While you go to the next one, I'm gonna show you my CD steel thing I have.
Sweet. All right, next title after Terrifier 3. Oh man, this is a big one, so I'm going to ask what he thinks of this. But June 9th, Curzon over in the UK is doing some Lars von Trier stuff. We're going to talk about one now and a couple in just a minute. But this one, Dancer in the Dark from 2000. Wow. Have you watched any Lars von Trier titles? I gotta say, I love him. Favorite Lars? What is it?
My mind goes right to The Five Obstructions, which is a it is a documentary that he made. Have you seen it? Do you know about it?
I have not. I'm still diving into some of those older ones.
Yeah, I mean, I love his early stuff. Like I said, early work is great. I thought Antichrist was kind of a masterpiece. But Five Obstructions is him and this other filmmaker friend. And the whole idea is he comes up with these 5 rules, kind of like Dogma 95 had these rules. And you have to make the same short film 5 times using these 5 obstructions, and they both do it. And so it's a conversation between them about filmmaking. It's great. Definitely put the 5 Obstructions on your watch list. Anybody who's interested in that.
I got lucky enough. I can't reach it, but it's
Not a typical Von Trier, you know.
It is that Curzon whole box set they did. It was only missing the title that's on the screen now. So now when I get this, it'll basically be a complete set. But I everything that I've seen from him is, at the very least, supremely interesting.
Yeah.
And you can't really say that for many directors.
Yeah, I mean, he has some, you know, he's made some questionable statements, and he's a, you know, provocateur and all that. And, you know, with any kind of provocateur, you kind of have to take some of that with a grain of salt. But when it comes to the arts, like, I think that what he did with Melancholia, like I said, Dance from the Dark, Breaking the Waves, they're just very powerful works of film. Yeah.
So Dance from the Dark, a little bit of a reminder for everybody that has not either paid attention or don't understand or don't know the history. This isn't even true HD. This is going to come at, I think it's 480p is going to be the max that this is going to be able to hit. You got a bunch of extras on here, but essentially you're going to buy this for the quality of the disc to be able to last a long time. It'll be better than the DVD was. This has behind the scenes doc, Von Trier's 100 Eyes on this. I cannot wait to have this release in hand. And for those that have seen it, you'll understand the braille that's on the cover of this is a really nice touch. I
do love Bjork, so
yeah,
you know, this was really exciting to see when it came out. The Bjork is in this film.
Looks like a gorgeous release. I'm excited to get that.
Devastating movie.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. And like I said, we're going to talk about a couple more Von Trier in just a minute that Curzon is doing on the same day. So be prepared for that. We mentioned The Shining earlier. It is getting yet another 4K release. This is the exact same disc that has always been coming out. This is a 4K steelbook coming from the Film Vault. Should be coming here in the next couple months. It's the Film Vault essentially is just let's put all kinds of crazy packaging on the same studio disc that you've been getting for the last 3 years.
Gotcha.
And that's it. So they'll happily charge you $60 for a whole bunch of plastic. And if you already have The Shining, you probably don't need this. But if this is your first release and you love the movie, this is a great release. I won't shit on it for that. But one that a lot of people don't have the 4K for because it was kind of difficult to get at first. Poltergeist, also getting that exact same style of release from the Film Vault. I believe both of those will be releasing on the same day. It is a steelbook in this weird PET plastic case, a bunch of art cards, some fold-out posters, stuff like that. It's
for like the super fans of these films.
That and somebody that thinks my shelves are not full enough.
Yeah.
Next up, a beautiful movie from last year, Flow, that I wish I liked more. This is coming on 4K over in the UK from Curzon again. This will be coming on June 30th. I loved this movie. The art style wasn't for me, and I don't know if that's just me being picky, but it felt like a video game a lot of the time, I will say.
Yeah, I mean, it kind of has to be said because, like, it is. I mean, it's a low budget film. Like, I thought the environments looked great.
I agree.
The close-ups of the animals, it did feel like, oh man, this is so close to working, like stylistically and all gelling.
Yeah.
But it's such a beautiful film overall. The feeling of it, no dialogue. I mean, what a great idea for a film that I kind of just. I give it a pass. I thought it was great.
I agree. Yeah. And one of the biggest things, I've got 2 kids, both have autism. One of them also has ADHD. All 3 of us sat silently and watched this entire film, and that blew me away. For a movie with no dialogue, that is incredible.
Yeah, absolutely. We need more of it.
Something we might not need more of. Rad has gotten multiple releases recently, getting a collector's edition release from Mill Creek again on June 17th, coming on Blu-ray. But the big thing, they added the brand new documentary called A Rad Documentary. Reminder for anybody that might be pre-ordering this is also getting a 4K release out of Australia from Umbrella over the next year. And I don't know for sure, but my hunch is it's Umbrella. They're probably going to release the documentary with that one too. So my suggestion would be to not get this.
Gotcha. Still haven't caught up with this one. I have a friend from college who this is one of their favorite movies of all time. So I will be forced to watch it at some point. So, I mean, talk about missing. I'm a little too old for this. Too young for this one.
I didn't catch this one when I was a kid, so it doesn't have the same nostalgia factor. I could see why it would have been great if I saw it when I was 9. Did not love it as an adult.
Yeah.
This one, however, I did love, and I think this is a hilarious idea for a steelbook. June 9th, Entertainment and Video over in the UK is giving us a 4K steelbook of Baby Girl. This is Nicole Kidman standing in a corner on the cover, and then the inside, of course, has a picture of the dog and a glass of milk. You can pre-order this now. If you're in the U.S. and you really want this steelbook, you can get it from Brother Belial. Pre-orders for that are available. Should be pretty much everywhere out of the UK.
You mean there's no plastic slipcase that has liquid milk in it that you can? Come on.
We'll be hitting that innovation in probably 2 or 3 years.
We'll have the milk,
video.
Yeah, you can actually drink milk out of it.
We'll re-release. What was that movie from about a year and a half ago with the bathwater?
Oh God, yeah,
Saltburn.
Like all the vinyl records, they're doing it.
Yeah, the Friday the 13th with the blood in it.
Yeah.
Next, I think this is a really sad idea of a steelbook, but man, I actually really liked this movie.
I haven't seen it. I don't know, man. I've been burned too many times.
I get it. I disagree, but I get it. May 19th.
But this is the most tempted I've been to revisit to come back in.
It feels like a classic for the first half, but if you felt burned over the last 10 years, you're probably going to feel burned by the second half.
Okay. That's what I figure. That's what I've heard.
This is Warner Brothers over in the UK putting out Trap from last year in a 4K steelbook. It's got all the same extras that have been on the other releases that have been coming out. And I really wish they had done something different with the steelbook. I do like when we get original poster art, but for a steelbook, the art should be a little special. And it just is not quite enough to make me feel like I need to buy a premium package for it.
Okay.
Going to the next one. Speaking of second run, which we don't get to a lot, so I'm glad you brought them up. May 26th, there's a Blu-ray coming of Ishanu. This is from 1990. I probably said that terribly. I am not known for being a linguist. This is a film that juxtaposes the spiritual world of the Maibis with the rhythm of ordinary life. This is going to have a new 4K restoration by the Film Heritage Foundation. Newly filmed interview with the director of this piece of Indian cinema. Film Heritage founder Shivendra Singh Dungarpur and the actor that they were interviewed by, the writer, all happened in 2023, so they got some new stuff. There's a booklet with new essays. Lots of stuff coming. I'm glad that they're putting out an Indian film. This is pretty exciting.
Yeah, totally. I mean, their curation is great, so this is going to be on my radar now.
Yeah, they do some films again that like nobody else would ever put out.
And another thing to mention to the listeners, like another region no pun intended, have not entered is region free. So I mean, I'm sure I can buy a region free player any day, and I will. But but the nice thing about second runs is most of them are region free. Not all of them, but you do need to check each one. If you don't have region free, I guess most of your listeners probably do. But just check that before. But most of them are good.
Every time we bring this up, we have a couple that in the chat will say, I'm never going region free, region A forever.
So there you go. So for those people.
Let's see what is next. Next up is, again, Lars von Trier from Curzon. This is also coming on June 9th. We're getting a standalone edition of The Idiots. This is from 1998. This is looked at as his masterpiece by a lot of people. This is a beautiful movie. It's got a making of on here. It's got behind the scenes doc, all kinds of stuff that has been on, associated with this film for years. How do you feel about The Idiot, sir?
I haven't seen it yet. Some of his early work I need to see still. So excited, just kind of saving it. And maybe this will be the time to go.
Well, this one will be locked Region B.
Yeah, so I'll have to cross over.
They're also doing Dogville on that same day.
This
has, again, all the same extras that were in the box set. And this is another one that it seems like all the Von Trier titles get sort of equally sliced for a lot of people that think that it's their favorite one. But the big thing with this one, other than Nymphomaniac, this is probably his most mainstream cast. We've got Nicole Kidman, Paul Bettany, John Hurt, Stellan Skarsgård, Philip Baker Hall's in this, James Caan, Udo Kier, not in it for a long time, but the cast in this, astounding.
Yeah, and this is a hardcore one. Like, if you can get through this one, you can, in a way, get through any of them. It's not that it's graphic. In fact, it's not. It's all on a stage. It's got this Brechtian thing. That's the whole, like, the cover is showing the plot of the house. And it's all just an imaginary house. It's like a play. So you're imagining everything. It's just a acting film. And he gets the performances he gets, especially after out of actresses. I mean, Kidman, just like, this was when she really started going on a tear. Yeah. Some of these incredible performances.
Since we've had two Kidmans in the last 5 minutes, one thing I want to shout out, back in, I think it was 2016 or 2017, she made this big public pledge that every time that she works with a director, she would alternate at least and I think the promise was do at least one film with a female director every year.
Yeah.
And since she made that promise, she's done like 17 films with female directors. Yeah. And not any other actor is doing something like that. I'm insanely impressed with that.
Particularly love her because Eyes Wide Shut is in my top 5 of all time. And she's also a Nashvilleian, where I live.
I don't think I knew that.
She has come to the Belcourt often. The Belcourt did a series that Nicole Kidman hand-picked of her career last year. It was one of the highlights of the movie-going year here. This is why the Belcourt is great. So you had a Kidman series picked by her.
What did she pick? Do you remember?
I mean, she picked kind of what you'd expect, kind of just these really interesting Dogville, Eyes Wide Shut. A film I'm going to mention later in my top 5.
Interesting.
She's just worked with so many great people.
She's incredible.
Yeah.
All right. And of course, I clicked the wrong thing. Let's talk about a brand new movie. Borderline from this year is coming on Blu-ray in the U.S. from Magnolia on June 10th. This is with Samara Weaving, and the other one is Ray Nicholson. This is Nicholson's son, Jack Nicholson's son, who is exploding right now. Really? He had a small part in Smile 2, and they used him as the poster, and now he is one of the two main actors in this one. And I've loved Samara Weaving in most of what she's done, so I'm curious to see this one, but not heard amazing things.
This is the first I've ever heard of this or his son, Jack Nicholson's son. I did not know that.
Yeah, he's got the same 1978 Jack style smile.
Yeah.
When you see him.
Okay.
Next, Kino is putting out King and Country here soon on Blu-ray. This is from 1966 with a hell of a evocative poster that they're using here.
Yeah, is that the cover? Because that's just a poster full on.
That when they don't have a release date, they do not share the cover.
Oh, gotcha.
This might be the reverse of the cover when they put it out, but this is just the original theatrical poster.
Got it.
We don't know when this is coming out, but it'll be a 4K restoration that Studio Canal did recently. At that point, they might update it to UHD, but probably not.
Mm-hmm.
Then the next one, this one will be a UHD. Uncommon Valor from 1983 will be a 4K release from Kino here soon. It will be a brand new HDR and Dolby Vision master. Again, huge cast. This is one that, when Gene Hackman just recently passed, got brought up quite a bit. Okay. Gene is the main lead in this. We got Robert Stack, Fred Ward, Patrick Swayze. This is quite a big one and directed by somebody who just passed like a week and a half ago, Ted Kotcheff. So this is a very timely release from them.
Okay.
I've never seen this one, but I'm certainly eager to.
Yeah, same. I got some Hackmans to catch up with.
Yeah, me too. He's done some great stuff. Next, I wanted to shortly mention this one. My magazine that I put out, the Physical Media Advocate, handful of things I wanted to remind everybody. If you're a writer, if you're an artist, if you review films or physical media, and you wanted somewhere to put out your work, I would love to share that with the world. Reach out to me, send me an email at disconnectedmedia@gmail.com. The other thing is we do letters to the editors. If you've ever had like a question about a film itself or about physical media, if you're too embarrassed to ask a label, I'll go ask for you. Send me an email. We'll print your question and we'll try to answer it as well. And then the other thing, if you run a boutique label or you run a theater or anything like that, we are happy to advertise events for you or any sort of releases that you got coming up. Just again, send me another email. But yeah, we got a brand new issue coming out on May 1st. And super excited for what it is turning out to be because it's going to be an astonishing one.
How do you do it all, man? That's so cool. I didn't even know about this yet, and it's just you got a lot of iron. You're cooking, man. You're cooking.
We'll talk afterwards. Give me an address. I'll send you a copy.
Okay.
I didn't even know this was a thing. On June 24th, End Circle, who is like a subsidiary of Mill Creek, they're putting out a Blu-ray steelbook of Sonic Prime, the complete series. I guess this was a Netflix show. I had no idea about this, but yeah, this whole thing is coming out here soon. Coming out in June. The biggest thing here, I'm always excited to see stuff that was locked on streaming get physical releases. I hope we get more and more of those. Man, we got an interesting thing. We're going to be talking about 2 disc replacements coming up for Warner Archive tonight. This is the first one, and it's for Wait Till Your Father Gets Home. This is a series that they just did, an animated series from, I think it was the 70s. And what happened is they accidentally did not author the bonus features on there. So they want to send you the disc that has them if you were able to get this in. So make sure you are putting in for the replacement if you got this, because you deserve to have those bonus features. We'll talk about one more near the end of the show.
Okay.
Oh, man. This is one of my favorites. July 8th, we are getting a 4K Steelbook and a standard release of Clueless from 1995. This is the 30th anniversary of Clueless. Holy God.
Yep. I'm in a 90s tribute band. We've been doing it for about 15 years. We play all the music of the 90s. And so, yeah, 90s pop culture is like one of my expertise is, And yeah, we have a lot of 30th anniversaries we're dealing with. So,
yeah, a lot of 30th anniversaries. That makes sense.
30 years,
yeah.
as if, yeah.
I'm all over this as well. This is one of my favorites. Easily, I think one of the best comedies from the 90s. I don't know about the Steelbook. The Steelbook that they're doing for this is the exact same Steelbook they did, like 2 years ago for the Blu-ray. They just put it in a slipcover and put all this fancy stuff with it. I don't need all that. If I can get the standard 4K for like $15-20, I'll jump all over that. This one, I have heard great things about this one.
Okay, yeah, have you?
June 17th, Magnolia is releasing a Blu-ray of The Assessment from last year. This is a film with Alicia Vikander and Elizabeth Olsen and Himesh Patel. I've heard this is a very trippy film. And the people that have said that to me seem to have a lot of the same taste when they talk about that sort of thing. So yeah. I'm curious. Anybody in the chat seen this one yet?
I've not seen it yet. I love Vikander.
Yeah, she's great.
There's this film called The Light Between Oceans, and it's actually where she and Michael Fassbender worked together for the first time and then fell in love and got married.
Wow.
And if you've seen a movie where 2 actors are literally falling in love on screen, the performances are so real. Like it is. I saw that and I was like, she's my favorite actress of her generation. Just like, wow. So that it's just a period romantic drama. There's nothing genre about it, but if you just want to see great performances of Alicia Vikander, so
hell yeah, that sounds great.
Yeah.
All right. We've been talking about this for the last month and a half because of the multiple updates from this and it selling out and people going crazy. And if you remember, I told you every single time there will be a standard release of the Beyond in 4K. You don't need to worry about it. And just like I said, July 29th, you're getting a standard release of the Beyond. This will be available everywhere. The crazy thing is, every time I've been talking about it, I said they may drop a disc or two because this is a 6-disc release. They're not dropping anything. This is going to be a full 6-disc release. This is a great film. I love it. But to have a standard edition for this that is still 6 discs, essentially, this is probably going to be $60 to $65 always. And then, like, once a year, probably around Black Friday, they'll have a sale on their site, and it'll probably go down to about 40. But you're probably never going to get it under that. You're not going to get something with only like 3 discs. The standard is the deluxe. It's everything that came in the original release except for the plastic eyeball. Everything else is the same. That's wild. And what's the best way to say this? Don't fall for the Grindhouse releasing marketing every time because, literally everything will be identical. I've been saying this every single time they've released something for years. Unless they come out and say, like, there is an exclusive slipcover, everything else will be the same. And this standard release is the exact same as the deluxe release. And the deluxe release is the exact same as what they originally put out as the limited release, except it doesn't have a plastic eyeball.
Nice. You know your stuff. This is good. Good intel.
I try. May 27th, Universal and Blumhouse putting out The Woman in the Yard from late last year. I never even saw that this got released. I thought this was supposed to come out early this year, but I guess it came out earlier. This actually has some extras on here, a couple featurettes, nothing crazy. Again, anybody seen this one? I've heard literally nothing about this one.
No.
Yeah, I imagine that you had not.
No, yeah. I mean, again, it's not totally my genre, but still, I mean, I keep up with everything that's coming out, and I'm pretty aware. But yeah, I hadn't heard of this. So I saw the announcement. Intriguing art, intriguing key art for sure.
Yeah, it's something that'll make you pick it up off the shelf at least.
Yeah.
This one, June 25th, Germany, and Cape Light Pictures is putting out a 4K steelbook of Maxine. Now, this is one a lot of people in the U.S. have been speculating that A24 should release a 4K set of X Pearl, which I'm wearing my Pearl shirt tonight, and Maxine in like a 3-pack. We have no information on that. Do I think they will? I mean, they like money, so probably. But when is that going to happen? Because now Maxine has been out for, in 2 months it'll be a year, and we still don't have any clues, any announcements, nothing. It's hard to gauge.
I did love this trilogy, man. It surprised me. Like again, not horrors, I guess it would be horror, but I don't know how you guys define this trilogy, but. Yeah, I was just really. I think I saw Mia Goth in Suspiria, the Luca version. That I love that film. Like, talk about like art house horror. Suspiria was phenomenal, and it made me want to see this just because Mia Goth was so good. And I saw the whole trilogy, but I didn't see them until Maxine was coming out, and they did the re-release in theaters of the other two. So it was like once a month, and so I went to see all 3 in theaters in like a month, and it was really fun.
That had to be a pretty damn exciting experience. Get them that close on the big screen.
And I didn't know how they were all going to. I didn't know the whole thing about Pearl being a backstory and all this. So it was just really cool to see this concept of a trilogy. You know, it's just you don't see like that kind of vision for and Pearl maybe it's the best. It doesn't matter which one's the best or if they're all great or not. It's just like the whole idea of it is really cool.
Do you have a favorite of the 3?
Probably Pearl,
Yeah. It's a beautiful movie. All right, so that is Maxine. Also from Germany, a random ass movie. May 29th, Cape Light is putting out a 4K steelbook of Over the Top, the only arm wrestling movie ever to award a truck to the winner.
What? Okay.
Yes, there's an arm wrestling contest, and the winner is meant to win a big rig truck. The
art, the concept, it's all over the top. Everything about it.
It's Stallone, so yeah.
Yeah.
This has never been my favorite. I've never been a huge Stallone guy, so I am not after this one.
Yeah, same, but we'll see.
This one I had never heard of either. July 1st, Cinedigm and Bloody Disgusting, working with Screambox, is putting out Tales from the Void. Now, what's cool is this is an anthology show that they did for Screambox. And this is an episodic horror anthology series that is both thought-provoking and terrifying, based on the most viral and haunting stories from the subreddit called No Sleep, which is essentially just scary short stories that people write. And they took some of them and made them into a series, which I am intrigued to see how this turned out.
Or like scary real experiences people are posting?
Sometimes they're framed like that.
Okay.
They're definitely all fiction.
Okay, I got you. Ghosts aren't real.
Yeah, it's essentially short stories to freak you out and to make you not be able to go to sleep.
Okay. I'll pass for now.
And then we got Criterion's this week, which is a perfect week to have you on with your history.
Yeah.
July 1st, they are releasing a 4K and Blu-ray release of The Big Heat, the Fritz Lang film. This is going to have Dolby Vision, which they've been sort of selective with how they give that out, so that's exciting. We got a new audio commentary on this one with Elaine Silver and James Orsini. New visual essay by Farron Smith Name on the women in the film. There's some audio interviews, and then there's an essay by Jonathan Lethem. Fritz Lang. You into any Fritz Lang?
Yeah, like so at NYU Cinema Studies, they did these courses called comparative directors, and it's always not random, but a different pairing. And it was Hitchcock Lang, and so each week you went back and forth, and you went through the timeline of both directors and saw how kind of sometimes how their work influenced each other and stuff. So you really did a deep dive into each director. So I got really into the Fritz Lang stuff, and I remember loving this one. And shout out to one of my friends, Sister Hyde.
Sister Hyde's amazing.
Yeah, Drew did this awesome art. Everything she does is cool, and it was cool to see her do kind of a different style for this.
Yeah, this is a big deal. I'm glad they got this. This is one that I think they've had the rights to for a while. It played on the Criterion channel many, many times, so people have speculated this should be coming, but it's nice to see it finally here.
Yeah, great title. Ooh.
Speaking of Kubrick, Barry Lyndon finally in 4K, and the word finally there is sort of said as a joke, but wanted to point this out too. Tony Mayer here says, "Holy crap, two of my favorite internet's people. Sam was a fantastic person to be mutuals with on Twitter before it went to pot. He's excited to see you here."
Oh, cool. Yeah, good to see you.
Barry Lyndon. This is a huge title. People speculating that most of the rest of the Kubrick stuff should be getting Criterion 4Ks eventually, but this one is probably the one that was guaranteed the most easily. How do you feel about Barry Lyndon?
Love it. I mean, again, Kubrick and Miyazaki, I would say, are my two favorite directors. So every Kubrick film, I've seen them all at least a dozen times. Big screen, home. Love Barry Lyndon.
Nice. I'm really hoping that we get the Eyes Wide Shut 4K from them, and I would love to see your art grace that cover.
Oh yeah, I did do a print for that one.
It's a beautiful, beautiful print.
Thank you.
This is a big one too.
Yeah.
4K and Blu-ray release on July 15th of The Adventures of Antoine Donnell. This is everything. We got the 400 Blows, Antoine and Colette, Stolen Kisses, Bed and Board, Love on the Run, Truffaut box set. So much that people have wanted for a long time. Obviously, the 400 Blows is known as one of the absolute stone cold masterpiece classics. We've got new 4K restorations here. All of this sounds great. Lots of extras on here, essays, everything. This looks like a really solid release from them.
Yeah, man, I've been waiting for this to come to Blu-ray in this box. I was hoping that they would do this box again because I had the DVD and just the packaging is so great. I don't know if you probably don't have the slideshow right there, but how each title is like a sweater or a shirt from his life. If you don't know these movies, it's the same actor over many years, and if you've seen Linklater's films, like the Before trilogy, which are some of my favorites, or Boyhood, those are all, Linklater always cites these films as an influence. Like, could we use the same same actor for all these decades? He's doing another one right now with Ethan Hawke, I think, again, for like the rest of his life. They're making a movie. And so I love that idea. And then, with just like the cinema of childhood I talked about, 400 Blows is just one of the great films of coming of age.
Yeah, it's a big deal. This is a huge month from Criterion. I'll just say that right now.
Yeah.
Before we get to the end. Next up, July 22nd, Carnal Knowledge. Speaking of Jack Nicholson, we get a 4K and a Blu-ray on this one. This is interesting because Indicator had just announced that they're doing a 4K of Carnal Knowledge. So now you can compare the two. And in all reality, the extras on Criterion's is not bad. We got a new audio commentary on here, new program with the Mike Nichols biographer Mark Harris and film critic Dana Stevens, new interview with Bobby Osteen on the film editing here, some archival conversations, Q&As, that sort of thing, and then an essay by Moira Miguel and a 1971 piece from American cinematographer about the look of the film. There's so much on here that I'm not going to say you should pick up both, but I could see why somebody would want to own this and the Indicator release. They both look like stunning releases, and it's going to make it difficult to choose for sure.
Cool. Yeah. I remember seeing this one in college and haven't revisited since, but it was great.
This is great stuff. And then from 2000, You Can Count on Me, coming on 4K and Blu-ray on July 22nd as well. This is the Kenneth Lonergan. We've got Mark Ruffalo, Laura Linney in this one. Again, we got an audio commentary with the director on this, new interviews with Lonergan and Matthew Broderick, Laura Linney, and Mark Ruffalo are all on the disc. An essay by Rebecca Gilman. Have you seen You Can Count on Me?
Yes, great.
Great. Rounds up a huge month from them. All 4K, all Dolby Vision. Huge.
Yep. The next flash sale can't come soon enough.
Between all of these and the Sean Baker stuff, it's going to be expensive.
Yeah, that's right. Honora.
All right. Then we've got Lionsgate Limited, which we knew a couple of these were coming, but then they surprised us with one of them. These are interesting here. May 13th, we get a 4K steelbook of Kick-Ass. This is the 15-year anniversary of Kick-Ass, which is wild to me. And then sort of like they did previously with Reservoir Dogs, this is the exact same steelbook that they had released through Best Buy a handful of years ago, but this time the colorway has changed in the background. That's the only thing that's different. The other one had a white background. This one has a black background, so that they can say the first one was still limited edition, and so is this one.
Yeah.
That's the only difference. But the big thing, there are new extras on this. So if you love this movie, you might want that. They've got 3 new featurettes, a little essay here that's called Physical Media Kicks Ass, which I'm very curious what they did for that.
Huh. Interesting. Okay.
Yeah. And that's it. Everything else was on the disc before, so not adding a whole lot, but at least there's something new for people that want this.
Mm-hmm.
Then the next one. This is one I'm genuinely excited about. The Crazies from 2010, also getting a 15-year anniversary 4K steelbook release. Now this is the first 4K release of this film ever. This is a brand new steelbook art for them. All of this is coming with a brand new audio commentary with the director. We've got a handful of other featurettes, including an alternate ending that were not on the previous disc. And all of the legacy special features are with this as well. This is a pretty incredible looking release of this film. And I don't know what everybody in the chat's going to think of me saying this. I think this is much better than George A. Romero's original. I love this movie.
Yeah, I'm not hip to it.
Do you like Timothy Olyphant?
I have no feelings either way.
Touche. Most women would disagree.
Okay, yeah.
I love Olyphant, and yeah, I think he's pretty great.
Okay.
Next is May, also coming from Lionsgate Limited. This is coming on May 13th as well. This is a Blu-ray release of May, same as what Second Sight did over in the UK. And what's interesting is this is part of the Vestron video collection, which sort of makes no sense because this was not a Vestron video title when this was announced, because Vestron had ceased to exist by the year 2002. This is just sort of an odd addition to all of the titles that they've put out previously. And this is exclusive to the Lionsgate Limited website. So if you really wanted this one, and you don't have the second site, this is the place to get it. I'm glad that this is getting a Region A release and that it has all of the same extras as the second site. But man, it is cutting off a lot of people from being able to purchase this, and it is sort of rough to see their prices go up. They had, for a couple of years at least, gone from about a $25 to $30 MSRP all the way down to like a $15 MSRP, and now this is all the way back up to $25. So this is likely going to be what it's going for in the future if they do more Vestron titles. I'm assuming you haven't seen May?
No, again, not on my radar, this one. So
this is a version of the Frankenstein story.
Okay.
It's very good. This is a very, like, we'll say, awkward cult art house film.
Okay. If it's art house, I'm in.
Certainly in some ways.
I love this artist, Matt Ryan Tobin.
He's incredible.
Yeah. I really love the pearl paper, like the Maxine paperbacks he did.
Yep.
And yeah, just all of his stuff is really good. So cool poster.
Matt did the art for one of my favorite movies from last year, The Last Stop in Yuma County. He did the art for, I think it was the Umbrella release that he worked on. Okay. And he just did great stuff for it.
Oh yeah. Okay. Cool.
All right. Next, another great 90s comedy. Mouse Hunt is coming to 4K from Kino Lorber on June 24th. And this has a new audio commentary from Joe Ramone, who is from Hats Off Entertainment. Love this movie. I think this is the best Tom and Jerry film that's not a Tom and Jerry film. Hilarious, great comedy. All of the extras that were on the previous releases are on the included Blu-ray. How do you feel about Mouse Hunt?
I have not thought about this since 1997.
I think that would be the same for many people.
And even then, I barely thought about it. So.
Yeah, I've seen this film so many times.
Really?
I showed my kids this movie a couple years ago.
Okay, so it's really good, huh?
It's genuinely really, really funny.
Okay.
It is a blast.
All right, I'll put it on my radar.
One of the more exciting ones for a lot of people this week, July 22nd, Paramount releasing a 4K steelbook of Small Soldiers from 1998. This is the Joe Dante film that brought a lot of people to Joe Dante. This, of course, is just an incredibly fun movie. Blast from the past for a lot of people that haven't seen it for years. What's crazy is this was languishing on DVD for years and just got a Blu-ray for the first time like a couple of years ago. So for Paramount to put money behind a 4K is really impressive, actually. So I hope this does well. I hope everybody's able to get a copy. This movie is fantastic. Have you seen Small Soldiers?
I haven't, and I was like 18, senior year or so. So I remember thinking like, this looks silly. Like it didn't hit me at that time. So I just never did.
Totally get that. That makes sense. Next up, Michael Haneke. This is back on the Umbrella site. This is the collection that we had talked about a few weeks ago, but there's been some changes. When they first announced this, they were missing 2 films, and they sort of quietly removed this from their website, and everybody's like, what the hell's going on? I found a comment from one of their employees on a Facebook group that said they were working on licensing, which is terrifying to hear. That could mean they announced something that they didn't have the rights to, and they're going to lose something. But they put it back on their site and went, surprise, we added one of the 2 films that we didn't have before, which is Happy End from 2017. Yeah. They also added Michael H., Profession Director, a documentary from 2013, and then a whole bunch of extras and featurettes that were not a part of it before. And all of those have been added with no increase in cost if you had pre-ordered before. So this now is his complete filmography, except for the Funny Games remake, and everything else has like brand new extras. We've got essays. This is a remarkable set.
I love Haneke, dude. Yeah, it's interesting because like I was telling you, I don't like the gore, I don't like the horror, I don't like violence.
Right.
So if you are going to make a violent film, it's got to be at this level for me. The way he treats violence, he is saying something.
Yeah.
And that's what I want and need. And just the formal rigor of his films. Love Haneke.
What one would you say is your favorite Haneke then?
Oh, that's so hard. I mean, my mind goes right to Cachet because it was like my introduction to him, or Cash, however you would say that word. I forget.
Yeah.
With the Julia Binoche, that brought me in. I think it's what I would recommend to people if you've never seen one. It's a good entry point. Yes, I'd probably go with that. But I love like the Seventh Continent, like that one with that's what that image is from, that landscape. Yeah, like I think it's his first feature. Yeah, I think it's his first. And I love seeing a director's first film. I mean, like, what are they coming out of the gate with? What do they want to say? You know, and
yeah,
it's a phenomenal film.
Sibner is saying, how much is it? It's hard to answer because it depends on the site that you're ordering from. It basically is going to range between like 220 on the low end to like 245 on the high end. And the big thing is if you order it straight from Umbrella, you already get free shipping just from this one title. Okay. So no matter where you are, that's pretty huge. We got another question. Reservoir's asking, why no Funny Games remake American rights? It has to do with rights, obviously, or they would have included it, no doubt. I don't think American rights have anything to do with it. It's just they probably could not secure it for Australia. This is huge, though. But the big thing, the Funny Games remake is available from Europe on Blu-ray, and you can still pick that up very, very cheaply. You can get it on eBay. You can get it from Rare Waves. You can get it Amazon UK even, I think. So check that out, and then you would have a complete set. Just put that, slip that disc in here somewhere, and call it a day.
Yeah. Love it. That's weird about the removal. Like you don't see that very often.
No, and for it to be positive editions is very exciting.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, cool.
CGV TV wants to point out Umbrella does amazing work on these deluxe box sets. The sets they did for Caligula, Bully, and Kids were top shelf. Fully agreed.
Okay, I've heard that.
I had not got any of the deluxe editions until after everybody was on there. But man, I've got one. I happen to have a couple right here, but I'm going to show one that I still can't believe I did this, but Sasquatch Sunset coming in a furry slipcover.
Oh my god,
is a beautiful idea.
Love that film, dude. It's so funny and moving.
Oh man, what a unique one.
Yeah, love the Zellner Bros. I've worked with them on a couple things.
Nice.
Yeah.
Then Blue Underground gave us some details on some previously announced titles. We got The Blood of Fu Manchu and The Castle of Fu Manchu, both coming on 4K on July 29th. And these are going to be world premieres of brand new 2025 4K restorations. They're going to have Dolby Vision, HDR10, all the good stuff with that. We got a new audio commentary with Troy Howarth and Nathaniel Thompson. There is going to be a new interview with Stephen Thrower on this as well. Of course, it's a Jess Franco title, so he's got to talk about it. The Blood of Fu Manchu also has the Rift Tracks version of here. So lots of cool stuff coming on this disc. And then the Castle of Fu Manchu. This one will also have Nathaniel Thompson and Troy Howarth on the commentary. They've got another new interview with Stephen Thrower and the Rift Tracks version also on here as well. Jess Franco, have you watched much or anything from Jess Franco?
Probably something, but not these. So yeah,
this is basically the pinnacle of video quality of artistic films that you probably would not love.
Okay.
So if you want not great movies to look amazing,
okay,
this would be a good pickup.
Okay.
This one, though, Sony putting out a standard release of Oliver from 1968. This is getting a 4K release that will be a pressed mod release, so don't have to worry about it being a burned disc or anything like that. This is escaping the clutches of one of those Sony Columbia Classics box sets, and now you can get it on its own, and it's not even a steelbook, which is rare for Sony. Usually a lot of that stuff they still lock up in a steelbook, so it's nice to see this getting just a regular release. Oliver, you got a history with Oliver?
Oliver. Yeah, I like to meet some Oliver. Yeah. Not a big my wife loves musicals. I don't love musicals as a rule. They have to, something about it has to bring me in a different way. But yeah, it's a good one.
It's a classic, literally.
Yeah. Please, sir, can I have some more? What else?
Next up, Wellgo USA is putting out a 4K and a Blu-ray release of 11 Rebels from 2024 on May 20th. This is a movie I've heard is great. Has some really great action in it. Looks really good. I'd suggest everybody watch the trailer on this one. If you're even somewhat interested in this film, really good trailer on this movie. I'm definitely going to have to check this one out.
Okay. Yeah, Wellgo usually does good stuff.
And titles that wouldn't get a release from anybody else, so that's a good thing.
What the heck is this?
June 10th, we get a Blu-ray release of the next Paul W.S. Anderson film.
Oh, gosh.
In the Lost Lands with Dave Bautista and, of course, Mila Jovovich.
Oh, I love Mila.
I got a picture from a mutual friend of ours that we can talk about afterwards of him at the premiere of this in New Mexico, holding on to Mila and to Paul W.S. Anderson.
Wow.
And you can probably guess who I'm talking
about. Yeah. No, I've ever since Cuffs, talking about 90s, I've been in love with her. So,
yeah, good stuff. I've not heard any good stuff about this film, though. Lots of Film Masters releases went up on their website this week. This first one is Class of 74. This is from 1972, and it's a limited edition release from their archive collection, which means this is going to have a slipcover. It will have a new audio commentary. The person doing it is Heath from over at Serial at Midnight. This will also have a booklet with an essay on it, and it's not on this because I just found out today the person who wrote the essay for the booklet is the one and only Amanda Reyes, who is incredible. So very interested in checking this out. I hear this movie is just very, very fun and looks very, very fun. And the big thing is I know a lot of people had the old Code Red DVD of this one. If you have that, you might want to hold on to it because there is a contextual bonus film on that DVD that is not carried over to the Blu-ray release. So just keep that as a little bonus disc.
Okay.
Then they are also putting out The Capture. This is coming soon on Blu-ray and DVD from their archive collection. The archive collection means it'll have a new scan. It'll be a 2K or a 4K restoration. It will not have bonus features, though, and this will be coming on a BDR. So just be prepared for that, which no big deal. It'll still last for a long time. The next one, same line and everything, The Fabulous Dorseys from 1947. Also an archive title. Again, no bonus features, but a new restoration, and it will be a BDR. A Life at Stake, also coming from that line. And we don't have release dates for any of these yet, but this one is from 1955. So I'll have a brand new restoration, and it will be a BDR. The Blood of Jesus from 1941 is getting a release from them as well. Same archive collection, no bonus features whatsoever, and a BDR. But this one looks very fun.
Yeah.
And that's it for Film Masters. Paul is saying, is this one the same scan as the previous Film Detective Blue releases? I bet it is, but I don't have confirmation on that. Next up, July 1st, Altered Innocence is releasing Lost Country from 2023. This is set in Serbia during the 1996 protest, and this one sounds really, really good. We got some trailers on this, and it will be a 5.1 mix for the audio, but not much else on here. Region free disc, and the trailer on this makes it look good. It looks like a good film. Next, Kino is releasing Rock Pretty Baby on June 17th on Blu-ray. This will have a brand new HD master from a 4K scan of the OCN and a new audio commentary by David Del Val, who does great work. I always laugh at this one because this has young heartthrob John Saxon that I don't ever think of as a young heartthrob. John Saxon and Sal Mineo. And then next is Promise Her Anything with Warren Beatty and Leslie Caron from 1966. This one will have a new audio commentary from Dwayne Epstein. This will also be from a 4K scan of the OCN. Lots of cool stuff coming from Kino.
Yeah, how did this period, the last few you've done, like how well do those sell? Is it to an older generation that like grew up with some of these movies and they're still collecting? Is that kind of the target audience?
That's a bulk of them, and then we got to realize when these come out, they're probably priced at about $14, and maybe 2 months later they're on sale for like $8.95. And so when they're that cheap, a lot of people go, "Oh, I like Warren Beatty. Maybe I'll like this. It's $9. Who cares?"
Sure, yeah.
So a lot of people just throw it in and maybe someday check it out, but also maybe just never unwrap it.
Yeah, I get that. Mm-hmm.
Umbrella. Speaking of Umbrella, we just had a long conversation about the stuff they do, the great work. We got a lot of great stuff to talk about. This first one is a 4K release of The Salute of the Jugger from 1989. This is coming on August 6th, and there is so much incredible stuff to cover in this one. This is a Rutger Hauer film with Joan Chen that people have wanted for years. Vincent D'Onofrio is also in this one. This is going to be an exclusive 4K HDR restoration of this film. So nobody else has this, and it has 3 different versions of the movie. This will also have a 100+ page book with a bunch of new essays. We got new bonus features. We've got an uncut 104-minute remaster that was done. This is a huge deal for Umbrella. A lot of people have wanted this film for a long time. They've got the work print cut. They've got the one that people have seen recently. New audio commentaries, bunch of extras. This is going to be a crazy.
What would you say recommended if you like what?
I've not seen this one because it's not
have
been
you
easy
heard
to see.
anything or?
No.
Is it martial art? Like, what is this?
It says, in a lawless future where society is crumbled and chaos reigns, the deadly sport of jugging is the ultimate test of strength, skill, and survival. After years of exile, legendary player Sallow is pulled back into the violent game, leading a ragtag team of misfits on a quest to ultimate victory. So to me, it sounds like if you like rollerball, you'd probably love this.
Okay, yeah. Post-apocalyptic extreme fighting sport type of movie.
Extreme fighting sport to the death movie, yeah.
Okay.
Rutger Hauer only doing films that have 4 versions? Absolutely. Just keeping it on brand for him.
Yeah.
And if Salute of the Jugger is not in your wheelhouse, they're also doing Noroi the Curse, one of the best found footage films ever made. This is from 2005, also getting a Blu-ray release on August 6th from Umbrella. Some really great key art on this one, too. This one is going to have a 48-page book with behind-the-scenes experiences, art, and essays, 8 art cards, a custom slipcase, and box set art on it. The new audio commentary by Tom Mess, who is incredible at what he does. There's an interview with the director that's brand new. Alexandra Heller-Nicholas talks about Noroi and the horror mockumentary. And then there's some other featurettes that have been on previous releases as well. But this is genuinely a masterpiece. One of the best found footage movies ever made. Love this movie.
Yeah, I did see this one.
Oh, nice. What'd you think?
Yeah, loved it.
Very nice. Very nice.
I like the before the found footage got to. I mean, there's certain ones. Who's the director? Do you know, or does it say right there anywhere?
Yes, his name is Koji Shirashi.
Yeah, it's especially Asian horror of the late 90s. I love Asian horror.
Nice.
I mean, any, Takashi Miike, anything Japanese, anything like that, I'm pretty much go for.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
The next one is a Blu-ray release of Funny Things Happen Down Under, starring Olivia Newton-John from 1985. This is a movie I had never heard of, but man, they've got some new bonus features on this one. This is just getting a standard little side-loading release from them, or a slipcover release from them.
Discovering rainbow-colored goats, realizing they have a major discovery on their hands.
Yes. Doesn't that make you want to pop that in right now?
It does. I think my wife would want to see this.
It's got to be. It's super unique.
Yeah, she's very young here. Very cute.
Very young, yeah, 1985.
Yeah. That's cool.
Then,
that looks fun.
The next one, a Full Moon box set. This is their second volume. This is Full Moon Frights. And this one is going to include Puppet Master, Sorority Babes, and the Slime Ball, Bolorama. And I believe I had to go to 2 posts. Oh, no, maybe I didn't. Let's go back to that. I just didn't list all the extras, it looks like, because there are so many. It's got Seed People, Shadow Zone as well. This is perfect for everybody that got that first volume of the box set that they did. If you love Full Moon stuff, you're definitely going to love this stuff. I know that there has been, I think, standalone releases of a few of these in Australia. I think Sorority Babes might be the first one that's new.
Go back to that last image.
The last image is that Seed People. I did it again.
Sorry, yeah. Oh, no, don't worry about it. But I like how they put all this together. The Video Zone or whatever. What is that?
The Video Zone is a little magazine that comes with it. It's a booklet.
I love that design. That's cool.
Yes, that looks really great. They do really good stuff, like we said, with their box sets. They're special.
Cool.
New extras on pretty much everything. It's exciting if you love Full Moon stuff. I actually just talked about a Moonbeam Entertainment film on another podcast this week. I love a lot of this old stuff.
Cool.
101 Films over in the UK is putting out Tourist Trap. Speaking of Full Moon, this is another Full Moon film. This is coming on June 23rd. This will be Region B locked. New special features on this. They got an interview with Charles Band, that's brand new. Interview with Ted Nicolau. Interview with an actress, and then Chris Alexander is also interviewed on this one. Plus, they've got some archival extras. This will likely be the same scan that was released in the US, which, if I remember right, I think it was cut. It was missing like 60 seconds or something like that. I'm not sure.
Okay. Haven't seen it.
Have you seen this film ever? This is a really good one. This one's special. Chuck Connors is amazing in this.
Okay. Like, I gotta be like really convinced when it comes to the typical horror movie, especially American.
I totally get that.
I need you to really sell me on it.
Speaking of atypical and not American, June 9th, we're getting a 4K release from Hammer of the Quatermass Experiment. Now, this is an incredible film. This is from 1955, and it's a sci-fi classic that made Hammer who they were, basically.
Yeah.
This is going to be huge, like some of their other releases. Funny enough, I don't even remember if I showed it on the channel when it came in, but I got in their Captain Kronos release that they just did, and this thing is thick. Like, this is the size, I don't know, 4 films wide, and Quatermass looks like it's going to be at least that thick. This is a crazy looking release. We've got 4K discs, we've got Blu-ray discs, we've got brand new extras, we've got multiple aspect ratios to choose from. This is a 5-disc set. You got posters, you've got booklets, art cards, everything that you could want for this film. This will be the definitive release of the Quatermass Experiment.
Cool. Yeah, I've always wanted to see this.
It is an incredible movie. This and the sequels are good too. I know a lot of people are down on 1 or 2 of them, but this is really great.
Cool.
I am excited to get that one. Then Severin came out of nowhere and announced a Blu-ray box set today. This is a part of their Intervision line. This is their first Intervision box set that they've ever done. This is called Bloody Legend, the complete Cliff Twemlow collection. This is coming in mid-June if you buy from their website, or if you want the wide release, that'll be coming on July 29th. This is 11 movies on 9 different Blu-rays. It also has the documentary that they did called Mancunian Man. So they'll have 13 plus hours of special features and a bonus CD. One of the big things here is GBH. This was a Video Nasty, I believe, and Severin has been chasing all of those for years. And I'm so glad that they're able to get this box set out. I've never seen anything from Cliff, but I've heard that these are really fun. The trailer for this looks great. Very, very excited to check this one out. And if you wanted to go all out, of course they're doing a bundle. You can get a shirt with it that says "Not for the Squeamish," and then they're also putting out 3 different books that you can get with it as well.
Cool.
Crazy set for $159.
Man, I love these deluxe editions with all this stuff. That's neat.
They take up so much space.
Yeah. Only for the super fans.
All right. The best censoring
Hello.
of the week.
Okay.
Mondo Macabro, we talked about them earlier. They are putting out a Blu-ray of Ava Man and the Return of Ava Man. This is from 1980 and 1982. This is a transgender film from back then. New 2K restorations for both movies. The poster art on this one is wild. I of course had to censor for YouTube and Instagram and Facebook, or I'd be banned from everything. But we can also look at their other poster art that's on the other side that also had to be censored. Yeah, the art on this looks crazy. We've got new commentary. We've got new interviews, including with the main star from this, which is wild to get them 45 years later. New visual essay, new interviews. Will be available to pre-order at the same time as the next title, which is Lady Desire, accompanied with Sexomania, coming in a Blu-ray double feature as well. These are from 1968 and 1974, and these will go on sale on May 1st at 9 a.m. Pacific if you are looking for these. Again, great releases looking from them. They've got extras like crazy. They've got tribute videos, brand new 2K restorations for these, and trailers and everything that you could want. If you get the red cases, you get the booklets. And yeah, if you like Mondo Macabro, you probably know what you're getting with these.
Cool.
Yeah, these are a must. I pretty much always like the Mondo Macabro stuff, and see these. This is interesting. So over in Italy, there's a brand new boutique company called Legends Collection that I just happened upon. They're putting out Singham from 2011. This is an Indian film, and it's the start of the Cop universe. They've put out a bunch of films under the same franchise, I guess. And this will be a Blu-ray release. It's got English subtitles, which is not even on Italian releases, so it's nice that we're going to be able to get this. Any company willing to put out more Bollywood films gets an A+ from me. It is super rare, so it's nice to be able to see. We've got brand new artwork on these. Eugenio Ercolani, friend of the channel, has done quite a bit on this one. So that is where I first heard about this. This is exciting. Have you checked out many Bollywood films?
Sad to say I haven't. I mean, I guess the length of all of them and the amount of them is just like, it's just daunting.
It's intimidating.
But I mean, I do want to like start seeing. I mean, I love, like, this isn't Bollywood, but I love Indian cinema. I mean, like the Satyajit Ray, like the Apu trilogy and stuff like that is great. Pather Panchali is one of my favorites of all time. And of course, I saw RRR. Love RRR, but I mean, that's all I know. So no.
I'm still hoping that RRR gets a like an actual great release.
Does it have a Blu-ray or?
I think it even got a 4K, but only in like Japan. Or something.
Okay.
I don't know. It's got to be something with the rights.
Sure. Yeah, I would love that too.
Lastly, like I mentioned earlier, we were going to talk about another Warner Archive replacement disc. And this is brand new. Just Friends literally just went up for pre-order, and really only like a handful of these were even shipped out. But this got announced as having special features. And when people were getting these, the special features were just missing on the disc. It was just the film. So they are replacing the disc. I've got all the details on the post. You can go find it. That's all we know for now. Just got to put in to get your replacement disc so you can get those bonuses.
There you
go. Reservoir was asking about that Italian company, and I said that they are putting out Asian films. And Reservoir said, what kind of Asian films? It's a big continent. Literally, that's all it says. If you go to their About page, it says, we plan on sharing Asian films. It's not a lot of information, unfortunately. As always, after the announcements, just in case you forgot, we cover what is coming out next week real quick, in case you want to go grab it before something sells out. Of course, the big title, Tombstone 4K, coming next Tuesday here in the U.S. That is shipping from some people already. Sneakers 4K from Kino, Career Opportunities 4K from Kino, Foul Play 4K from Kino, as if they ever rest. The 4K of The Hunt comes out next week from Shout. We've got the Jean Florette and Manon de Spring title that is coming from Criterion. Captain Planet and the Planeteers, the complete franchise next week. Cheyenne, the complete series from Warner Archive. Yakuza Wives from 88 Films. Jackoman and Tetsu is also next week. Lady with the Sword. The Cruel Sea from Kino. Hysteria Season 1, or also should have been called the complete series because it was canceled already. But those are the big ones. Borderline is also coming from Kino Classics, and then Tribeca putting out Tendaberry next week. That one is an Amazon exclusive, so if you want that one, you got to get on Amazon. Tombstone, the big title. Have you ever seen Tombstone?
Yeah, sure. Good.
It is a good one.
Should revisit it after Val's passing.
Yeah, I'm sure the announcement of that and the timing of that is going to make it sell like hotcakes.
Yeah, but I know Career Opportunities was a big hit for Kino. That was a formative movie for me. You could say Jennifer Connelly's probably my number one cinema love, or
gorgeous.
Yeah, absolutely. I love, in fact, it's funny, I just removed one of her films from my top 5 cover designs that we were going to do, because while revisiting the list, I realized there is a Blu-ray of the title I was going to have, which is very rare. It's a film called Étoile. So this is young Jennifer Connelly, Labyrinth Phenomena era, and she made this obscure, never seen. It's almost like a Black Swan type of thing. It's a ballet, but it's this dreamlike, nightmarish kind of thing. And I need to find this. Maybe you can help me get a copy.
Yeah, it's going to have to be eBay only. It was a Ronin Flix site exclusive, which Ronin Flix doesn't even do much anymore. This was done by Scorpion releasing a handful of years ago and has been long sold out.
Have you even heard of this movie?
I mean, when it was announced, that was it. Okay. But it's not I didn't even know anybody that had seen it.
Yeah, exactly. No one's seen it. And you would think, since everyone loves Phenomena and Labyrinth, that people would at least look up what is this. And that's what I did, because I'm a Connelly super fan. And I was I have to see this. This looks cool. And it was cool. I mean, it's, underappreciated. Maybe it's not a masterpiece, but it's still really interesting.
So now that we've gone through all the announcements, discussion with Sam, we are going to cover a top 5 list. You picked 5 titles that you would love to design art for if they were to be released. Mm-hmm. And funny enough, I picked 5 titles that I would love for your style to be applied.
I figured that's what you were going to go for.
Yes. Okay. I actually, this was really hard to whittle down. I had 9.
Whoa.
I was God dang it. There's a couple that I always seen as, for some reason, attaching with you in my mind. And then there's things that I went, I kind of wanted him to push somebody else out and do it if they were to do this. So I got some cool ideas. So we'll talk about that in a little bit. But first, how do you describe your style to somebody that's never seen your work?
Well, I go back to a traumatic moment in middle school in drawing class when the late Gene Sizemore, my drawing teacher, gave me a B- and told my parents, "Sam's great. He's brilliant, but he doesn't have a style, and he needs to get a style." And my dad was so offended, it's sticking up for me. Why do you have to have one style?
Right.
And that always stuck with me. And I was like, yeah, that's right. I don't have to have a certain style. And I think if you have one visual style, especially if you're an illustrator, you get pigeonholed to doing the same thing over and over again. We've seen this with a lot of the Mondo people I mentioned. And they're great, but I've never been a specialist of a specific style. In fact, I do love drawing. Some of my favorite things I've done are hand-drawn illustrations, but it's not my, I haven't put in the thousands of hours. So I love just an iconic concept. So conceptual ideas and not necessarily showing the actors, showing an idea. That's why I love all the Polish posters, the Czech posters, Cuban posters, because Cuban posters have that simplicity of design. You can just have cut out shapes or whatever. Yeah. So I love anything like that. But it's always finding the best solution for the film, given the brief that whoever you're working for. If you're just doing something for yourself, then I'm just I want to see this as a cool yellow and blue. That's what I'm seeing in my head. I'm just gonna do that and try to do something atypical for what's already been out there. Like kind of maybe a new way of looking at a film visually.
It's a good answer because, even just looking at your website, it's hard to, look at three different things that are vastly different. Anybody else looking at them could think these are three different artists entirely.
That's cool. Thanks.
It is such a fun, I don't know, if you announce that you're involved with something, you just never know what you're going to get, which is the most exciting aspect of it, I think.
Thank you. That's like the best compliment, and I think it's cool to work with photography. Like I love actors and photographs. Why do we love movies? Actors. I mean, it's like one of the biggest things to see a human face. We're not watching. I mean, yes, Koyaanisqatsi is one of my favorite films of all time. It happens, but not every movie is like about buildings and landscapes. You love seeing a face of someone you love on screen. And it's amazing when you think about it. Almost every poster and DVD has a human face on it. Like it's very rare it doesn't, but yeah, using photography, there's a lot of great things you can do with it. And then hand drawn, whatever I try to think of like what's the idea of the poster, and then let that determine what medium I use.
Right.
So just try to find the closest path to that.
Anybody that's watching is that is interested in being either a graphic artist or they're already dabbling in some of this would probably want to know what are some of your go-to tools? What do you like to work with most?
Every person kind of gets stuck in their own weird ways. I use Photoshop for assembling everything I do. Of course you have to deliver files digitally. Right. You can't just mail someone a painting. That's how they used to do it though. I guess I could if I really wanted to, but I like having control over the type, the layout. I love to do a whole package when possible. All my criterions are like, you do the whole package, the menus as well. Now with most of the boutiques, again, they're smaller budget. They have an in-house designer, so they just do the cover. I like to use organic elements where I can. I like to have texture that's real, not fake textures. I hate it's fine every now and then for a certain brief, but I don't like fake poster textures. I like to use real paper, real materials to kind of, bring a handmade quality to things. I sometimes cut, like the Love Crime was all made with cut out paper, like actual construction paper. But, so I will sometimes, like that's an interesting example. I'll sketch it out digitally with a tablet, the forms. Then I'll print that out. Then I'll cut those forms out with paper. Then I'll scan them in and put them back into Photoshop. So, sometimes you can use the digital tools like a tablet to really get an idea out quick. It's very helpful. Or, in my sketchbook.
Right.
But yeah, everything goes into Photoshop usually. And sometimes it's photo collage. Sometimes it's, all digital illustration I've done on some cases. So yeah.
What is, we'll go two different things. What is the piece of art that you've created that you're most proud of so far?
Oh gosh. Most proud of. I mean, I really am proud of these two that I did for Before Sunrise and Before Sunset. And then later he did Before Midnight. So I did a third one. That was like years later, which I tried to kind of make it work with the other two. I don't know how successful that one is, but the first two, just again, idea comes to you and just a very short distance between the idea coming and you executing what you see. And I'm sure you would relate to this in any of things you do, even though you're not a visual artist. Like, oh wow, that was a perfect flow. And when you're doing something just for yourself, you can have that. I didn't do that for a client, although little trivia, like Peter Becker at Criterion always told me back in the day, like, oh, we would love to use those one day for a Before trilogy. And, years go by and things change and different ideas come about, and that it didn't end up happening. But I do love those. I'm really proud of them. And I made screen prints that sold out the whole edition. it's one of my things in my back pocket. I would love to do one more edition at a larger size, like silk screen. And those are very inspired by the Cuban posters, where you have just like shapes, colors and shapes that represent something. Like how do you represent two people talking on one night? Well, you can show them walking and talking, or you just do the idea of a sun with this little sliver of time, So like, I thought that was, I look back at it, it holds up. I wouldn't change a thing about it, So.
Sibiter's got a question for you here. Are you a fan of Pascal Campion?
I don't know, but I'll look.
I don't know the name either.
Yeah, is it an artist? So I'll check. I'll check and get back to you.
One of the other things, I asked what piece of art you're most proud of. Is there a piece of physical media that you have been attached to that you're still like baffled that your name is attached to that film?
Well, House. I mean, I have to say House. Just the fact that, like, I got a note from Obayashi himself, and he has the poster, and like I got to meet his daughter Chigumi when I was in Japan. Just like that kind of thing, having like a personal connection to this filmmaker and this work that's been totally reappraised, and that poster played a role in that. That's a huge honor. So is that. And then I would say the Qatsi trilogy for Criterion. Yeah. I love Koyaanisqatsi, the whole Qatsi trilogy. It's something my dad, who was an artist, he had the soundtrack when I was growing up. He probably turned me on to it. And then I remember being in NYU. They had in the NYU library, you have a viewing floor of the library. It's a big library down in Washington Square. And you just go to this media center, and there are these little cubicle booths, and there's a little CRT televisions in each one, and you can watch anything. You just check, you have them pull it from their library, and it's like not the ideal viewing conditions, but I always say that like a great film, you can watch it on a 10-inch CRT and it will blow you away. And that's what happened with Koyaanisqatsi, one of the most visually stunning films. Yeah. And I'll never forget seeing that. And so getting the chance to do that for Criterion was huge.
It looks like Pascal Campion does covers for the New Yorker.
Okay, cool. Yeah. New Yorker is on my bucket list one day to do a cover, but not yet. The New York Times, but not New Yorker.
That was one of the things that I was going to ask too, is where, now that you've been associated with some of these more monumental films and music and events and stuff like that, what is something that you would feel like, dang, my art being associated with this now, I've made it? What is the big goal?
Like the next goal, the dream or whatever?
Yeah.
Well, I want to venture into whole new terrains with different projects and ideas. One would be like to do children's books one day, and not just the typical children's book, but like I really want to make. I did a show in Japan that was geared at children. It was like this history of the universe thing, and it was to try to get my foot in the door and meet some people and like imagine, okay, what can I do one day, like if I were to do like children's art. So I'm really interested in that. If I had my way, I do have a brand called Sammy, and it's got an Instagram. I've just got it sitting there waiting because I want to make like children's cool stuff like puzzles, clothes, that's an area I want to get into at some point. And then I also have I'll just tease for anyone listening. I've designed a game. So this is not announced yet. I'm not announcing it here, the name or anything, but it is a game and I've designed it. It's done. And I'm excited to try to have that come out and potentially be a success. That would be a big goal, to like have this be a success. So you'll probably hear about it whenever I actually get around to trying to get it out, which hopefully will be in the next year, maybe, I hope.
That's excellent. I'm excited for that.
Yeah, I'll probably pick your brain about ideas. I'll need your help promoting it for sure. Happily. It is a card game.
Nice.
And I would say rather than a strategy, it's a party game, and it is a movie game. And I know there's already a couple movie games out there. This is the best one you've ever played.
Wow.
I'm confident to say.
Well, okay. I'm very excited. That's awesome.
Yes.
All right. So to change gears entirely, this is going to be a little bit of whiplash. one of the things that I've always wanted to ask you, and I still can't believe that this friendship has happened, but
Yeah.
I've respected you for so long for associating with the West Memphis.
With which one?
The West
You
Memphis
cut out.
Three.
Oh, the Tennessee 3.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Where did the desire to throw yourself behind that come from?
Yeah, I mean, I guess just simply ways I can do something. Without we don't have to get into any of the politics. It's
Right.
all common sense when it comes to gun safety. If you're not on board with that, I got nothing for you.
We're not going to fix that in the next 5 minutes.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, we had this shooting that was at Covenant School, and that's 5-minute walk from my house. So I live in that neighborhood. And so, yeah, just it's one of those things, when you have there's a school shooting and it happens in your neck of the woods, and it's like, oh, wow. And so, yeah, just getting, how can I do something, as an artist, you rarely feel like you can help in any way. And
Right.
Not that it's a big deal. It's not. But I was like, oh, I like making posters. And I one of the things that inspired me to make posters was the Cuban posters. There's this great book you should all check out called, well, there's a few books of Cuban posters now. Any of them will do, but all the revolutionary Cuban posters, and the film posters from Cuba at that time,
Right.
They're really cool, and they inspired me in the first place. So every now and then I'll just play around with political posters, just if I have an idea, and throw them out online. And with Tennessee 3, it was just I was down there at the Capitol every day, in anyways, and so I was like, well, I might as well make these posters and shirts. And then everyone wanted shirts of the Tennessee 3 silhouette, and we just I know a bunch of screen printers. I've done screen prints and stuff, so my screen printer friends and printer friends all jumped in to help, and we in about 24 hours we went from nothing to having a few hundred shirts and posters, and just went down to the Capitol and sold the shirts and donated all that to every town, just as a fundraiser for gun safety awareness, just a way to do something.
This is, I think, one of the best examples of somebody that has a platform, but isn't like a Kardashian or something that we would call like an influencer, doing the most with what they can in a way that supports, just straight human empathy. And without that, there are so many things that just would never get attention. There are people that wouldn't care. There are things that you can put, your energy behind and raise some money for people that would never get an opportunity for proper representation or what have you. And it's just a big deal to see somebody that you respect others like that. So thank you.
I mean, it's the very least I can do. I mean, a lot of people do a lot more, I could be doing political art 24/7, but I usually just don't do something like that unless the idea comes to me and it just feels natural. I'm not trying to be preachy about anything.
Right.
I love graphic design as a problem solving tool, and I was like, this needs to be made. So
on that note,
I got to meet them too. Got to meet Pearson and Justin and Gloria, and
nice.
That was so cool because I think Pearson is an incredibly inspiring political figure, man.
Yeah, it's an interesting time out there. Every town has done some good stuff, so it's good to hear. On that note, we both prepared some top 5 lists, you of titles that you would want to work on, and I've got 5 that I would want you to work on.
All right.
I will happily go first here, and I tried to make these as
now
different.
Blu-rays that have not been released on. Did you have a framework here?
I did, because
none of mine have been released on Blu-ray at all.
I mostly have a framework. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
So I'll go first here. Number 5 is one that has been on Blu-ray. However, it was only by the director, and it had the shortest run ever.
Okay.
It did get a Blu-ray over in the UK, but we need a domestic Blu-ray release of Adam Raymeyer's Dinner in America. And there is something about this movie that is Kyle Gallner and he is just like the definition of punk in this in the coolest way. He is also working with Emily Skeggs, who is just amazingly cute in this. The musician side of you, I think, would pull some really interesting inspiration with the art style here, because Kyle Gallner plays the lead singer for an underground punk band that wears a ski mask. You can never see his face. And just what you've done to minimize some of those artistic images, I feel like you could really kill a cover for this film.
Okay, cool. It's added to the watch list.
It is a wonderful movie, and it has a really, really great musical scene of him building a song with Emily Skeggs in front of him, and it's just a beautiful film. Love this movie. Cool.
Yeah. Okay, nice. Yeah, like the iconic. Like when I say iconic, that word is overused. Like I could say you are iconic because you have a great Blu-ray channel, and you do. But what I mean by iconic is like in the Saul Bass type of way, where something that could be especially seen at a small scale and still have an impact, because we're seeing everything on thumbnails now.
Exactly.
I'm looking at something that small. I want my posters to hit at that size.
Yep.
And at the full size. So less is more kind of approach.
I agree. And I think this is the perfect one for your style. So.
Okay. Are we going back and forth, or are you going all your
Let's do it. I think that'll make it a little more interesting.
Okay.
So what do you got?
So 5 favorite films of mine that have never been released on Blu-ray, I particularly would love a chance to design something for. Now, you're probably going to tell me, there's a Blu-ray of that. There's a Bluray of that.
I won't correct anything.
That'll be great news. I would love to find out that there's a Blu-ray. Okay, the first one is, and by the way, is it easy for you to like tab over to a scene where you could like pull up images, or is that too? That's too.
I can do that, but also at the bottom of your screen, if you have it up there, there's a button that says present there. You can share a tab, and I can display it for everybody as well.
Oh, just like a tab?
Yeah.
A tab of my Chrome?
Yeah.
Okay. Because it'll be interesting to give people a visual of the film and also just like the existing stuff. Okay. I'm going to share my tab. Sorry. Okay. So present, and I choose my own tab.
Yes, you'll click on share screen.
Share screen.
And then when that pops up, you'll keep it on Chrome tab and just choose whichever one you're on.
Okay, perfect. Here we are. And it is The Secret of Rowan Inish.
Oh, okay.
Now, I told you I love children's cinema. I love fairy tales, folklore. This is a Deaf Crocodile release waiting to happen, you guys, if you're listening. And
Craig will listen. And
you can get this going. It is a beautiful little Irish fable. You've heard of, have you seen like Song of the Sea?
Oh, yeah.
So like the Selkie, the idea of the Selkie, which is this like seal spirit of someone who's gone. So it's this father-daughter thing. It's just on this little island house where this girl encounters a Selkie that may be her mother. Oh, so beautiful, man. Directed by John Sayles. Love it. So yeah, let's make it happen. We're going to manifest.
As a Deaf Crocodile release, I could definitely see that.
Right?
Man, that is a good idea. And look at that. Tony says Rowan Inish is one of my family's longtime favorite films.
There you go. Oh, you're on Facebook too?
Yep.
Oh, okay. I see. I didn't see all the comments you're missing. Okay, yeah. Tony knows what's up. Pretty much anyone. Oh, yeah. If you love Banshees of Inisherin, go right to this.
So my next one is one that I have a feeling, this is not a guarantee, but I have a feeling is going to be in the Criterion Collection soon. So this is a triumphant return. Hopefully we get you on this. Okay. With the recent success, I think that Sean Baker is going to get his release of 4-Letter Words soon. This is his first feature film.
Yeah, I have not seen it yet.
And he just had this film added to the Criterion channel, and I believe Janice picked up the film rights for this. So I'm hoping that this happens soon. The style here that we're seeing in the posters is not as iconic as his most recent stuff because it was so young for him. But as you can tell, the colors that are with this would go great with a lot of how you've used some really great colorways. This is a movie we're going to be talking about in a few weeks on the channel again, just a heads up. This is some good stuff. But yeah, Sean Baker obviously getting a lot of attention at the moment, and for good reason. And with the Criterion Channel picking it up, I think we're likely to see a release of this here soon.
Okay, cool. Yeah, it's got that gradient. It's got his classic font he has on everything now.
Of course.
But yeah, I love Baker. I loved Tangerine, especially. Of course, Honora I thought was great.
So you mentioned his font, and that brings up a good question. How do you are you passionate about fonts and typography?
Oh, sure, for sure, of course. I think the lettering and the typography is very important. I love working with it. I love working with even the building block. Just like making it all come together and lock in. So yeah, you can always learn so much more about typography and fonts. Fonts just means the computer file. I don't know if you knew that, but you would really say typeface, rather than a font. And I have certain designers I know who are like encyclopedias, and I'll go to them with questions or, can you help me identify this typeface or this font? I love recreating fonts or typefaces from films where you don't know what was that, in the title card, and try to bring that into the cover, especially if the title treatment from a film has not been used in a poster. Like The Keep did that. They used that actual lettering, and I loved that. So yeah, I'm a big geek about type.
Good stuff. Next one for you. Would you like?
Okay, next for me, we got now. This one does have like a UK Blu-ray, so okay, maybe. But I want a US Blu-ray release. I want another release. It is a Japanese filmmaker that I love, Koreeda, and he has made, of course, Shoplifters. Just came out. This is his first film. It's called Maborosi. Okay. Have you ever heard of it?
I have not.
Okay. Everyone talks about Shoplifters, and then, people have seen, Broker, Monster, his new ones. But this is a film about a woman who goes to a kind of, it's also on a coastal town where she was from. And it's a type of ghost story, but done in a very lyrical, beautiful, poetic way. It is my favorite Koreeda film. By the way, Still Life, another great Koreeda film. Criterion's put that out. That's this like Afterlife. Afterlife, not Still Life. That's Jia Zhangke. Afterlife is great. I would recommend that if you want to see more Koreeda. That's like people have died and they go to this in heaven where it's like a movie studio, and you recreate one scene from your life. So he plays around with this like ideas of like stories that deal with crossing over, and it's stunning film. So this is probably the most low key, like no one knows about this one when I pick it. It's not like, oh yeah, right, that movie, but I would highly recommend it to people. And this DVD by Milestone Films, it's so weird. Like I saw the Blu-ray at Videodrome from this Milestone Films, but like I can't find it on eBay. There's no listing on Blu-ray.com. Like, can you help me out here?
There is. It's on Amazon right now for $145.
Exactly. So I don't know why. Why is that so rare?
Because it went out of print very quickly, and people love Koreeda. So,
but I don't know anyone who has it. Like, who are these people?
Videodrome in Atlanta. That's it.
Yeah, I saw. I was like, oh my god. Okay, so yeah, maybe I was wrong there. So Blu-ray exists, but it's time to get a new restoration going of this. I'm sure something's in the works at some point. Now that Koreeda's on such a platform,
Well, I mean, yeah, if people are paying attention, something that's that out of print and it's going for $150, we deserve to have an imprint release of that. And what's hilarious, I am glad that you picked that as the next one, because it's a perfect segue for my next one, which you have worked on some incredible Asian films. You were working on some Asian films coming out in the future.
Yes.
I think that Criterion needs to release this one because it is currently out of print in the U.S., and I think it deserves the notoriety of a Criterion release just so that more people will see it.
Yep. And
this movie is so sumptuous, I guess is a good word, that it deserves a deep, rich 4K release of 2016's The Handmaiden.
Ooh.
This is
Yes.
this is one of those movies where every single frame is like, we can stop, we can crop it, we can put it on the wall, and you will think, yes, that is just a work of art. This movie is perfection, one of the most romantic films ever made, and with your making something beautiful out of an already gorgeous movie and stripping that down to its bare minimum. This would be so perfect for you. I could see a screen print of this just doing gangbusters. This movie is this is a life-changing movie. For those that have never seen it, 2016's The Handmaiden really needs to be at the top of your watch list. Not gatekeeping whatsoever, not saying, oh my God, how haven't you seen this? But it is a modern masterpiece that can wake you up to a different style of filmmaking than you've ever imagined. This movie is perfect.
Dang, high praise. I love that. Yeah, Park Chan-wook. Yeah, beautiful stuff. Cool. Okay. It's giving me ideas. You got my gears turning.
All right, what do we got next?
Beautiful. Okay. I will say this film will be life-changing if you haven't seen it. Now, don't hit my tab just yet. I'll tell you when. We mentioned Nicole Kidman. This film, thankfully, is now getting more people on board in the last couple of years because of The Zone of Interest. And that is one of my favorite films of the last 20 years, maybe my favorite film of the 2000s. Jonathan Glazer's Birth. So criminally overdue for a Blu-ray release. There has to be some, I'm sure this is already in the works with Criterion or someone. It has to be. Unless it's in some weird legal holdup. Do you know anything? Anyway, I'm not even worthy of this film. Like, Jonathan Glazer has only made 4 films, right? Sexy Beast, Birth, Under the Skin, and Zone of Interest. They've all been, well, Birth and Under the Skin and Zone of Interest are masterpieces to me. Sexy Beast is incredible. I wouldn't say it was a masterpiece, but the guy is just everything Glazer does. All his earlier videos I loved, but this was shot by Harris Savides, and he is gone now. And the cinematography, it's like a full frame. I love the full frame aspect ratio. I'm way into that. Any kind of Academy ratio or 1:3:3, and the cinematography is astonishing, and the concept, it's that the fantastique I told you about. It's like this idea that what if this child is her former husband, and what that can do to your mind when you're grieving someone. This idea of not ever being able to let go of someone you loved. It is so haunting. It is a New York movie. It is a winter movie, a gothic New York Upper West Side fairy tale, and it's Kidman's best work, and that includes Eyes Wide Shut, that includes Dogville. It is phenomenal. I really hope now that Zone of Interest is out, you guys. Oh, I worked on Birth.
I was going to make sure you see that.
That's cool.
Sibner has worked on quite a few films. Yeah.
Okay, like in what capacity? He can tell me in the chat, but I'm curious what crew capacity or whatever. So I don't really know what I would do for Birth, but it was one of those things where if someone emailed me, it was like, "Hey, we have Birth. We heard you on Disconnected, and what would you do for this?" I would just be like, "Oh, I don't know. Let me." I have
yes.
to reassess. Yes, but I'm not worthy. And the best Alexander Desplat score that he's ever made. The score alone is phenomenal. Have you seen Birth, my friend?
I adore Birth. I saw it for the first time maybe it was last year now, not too long ago. It was Zone of Interest and talking to Sibner that got me to watch it. And I guess I probably should have sought it out after loving Under the Skin and getting Sexy Beast from overseas as well, because I don't think, does Sexy Beast still not have a Blu-ray in the US either, I think?
As far as I know, I don't have it.
Yeah. Well, it looks like it was released by Twilight Time way back in the day, but on Amazon right now for $250.
Good God.
Jesus. So Sivner says he played a waiter at the reception after the husband's funeral.
Oh, fantastic. That's awesome.
Love it. Okay, so
on set with Harris Savides and Glazer. And the cast, Danny Houston. I mean, God, I could go on and on. Lauren Bacall, for God's sake.
It's a big deal. Big deal. Yeah, we need a release of that for sure. And just like you said, I kind of assume that one is in the works. It'll just...
Yeah, but you'd think it would have come out by now also. So it's like, what is taking so long? I don't know. But, maybe Glazer takes his time. He clearly takes his time with projects. So maybe he's supervising a whole new restoration. I mean, the DVD, like the version that's shown on Criterion Channel whenever they show it, it looks perfect to me. I don't know why you'd reapproach anything about the transfer, but who knows?
Good question.
Yeah.
My next one is a bit of a cheat a little bit because I have envisioned you doing a great version, like we talked about, where you get the entire package, not just the cover art, but some of my favorite releases over the last, I think we're going on 3 years now, are the 2 box sets that Severn Films has put out called All the Haunts Be Ours, the folk horror box set.
Yes, okay.
And seeing your take on a full design of this, where you're integrating the booklet on the inside, the menus, everything, would make one of these mind-blowing. The way that you can take 15 films and make stylized key art that all matches in very unique ways with the styles of those films from all across the world. Because your styles are so different, it is the perfect way to showcase all of those at once. And I would just love to see that sort of a platform for you.
Interesting. Well, I think very highly of those releases. I used to just say I don't love horror, but now I've found so many of these subgenres that are really appealing, and that right. A lot of those are that. I got the first box. The House of Psychotic Women, like you said, I know that's not folk horror, but this kind of academic. I love love that. All the Haunts. There's some. There's not really over, but Kirla Janice talks about some folk horror things, and the art on the All the Haunts already. I can't. Like, if they asked me to do volume 3, I would say, no, you guys just do what you did on the others, because it's great. All that, like the Woodland Days Dark and Bewitched documentary with all those great, did Guy Madden do the collages or Madine?
Not sure.
It all looks so great already. So, I mean, and it's funny you say that, because there have been times when someone's asked me to do something and I pass it on to someone else because I'm like, this person would do an even better job, But that's cool. It would be fun to do some kind of, maybe not another All the Haunts by name, but something similar to that, where I could do a whole series. I am doing a box set right now of a TV show, so it is a lot of assets. I can't say what it is yet. I'm under contract on that, but it'll be a chance to do a lot of art in a style that kind of goes together. So.
Nice. Very nice. All right, then. Your next one.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Again, don't go to the tab till I tell ya. This is an interesting one. And you know what? I'm going to go ahead and say right now, this might be very hard for you to pull off. But I'm going to give you a challenge that you should manifest with me this existing. Because I think you have some ideas, some resources, some similar lines of thinking that something like this should be released. Okay, and before you click in, I'm just going to say, the most famous poster designer anyone can name is Saul Bass. He did the Vertigo poster. He also did a bunch of title sequences. He directed the shower scene in Psycho. Let me say that again. He directed the shower scene in Psycho.
The most well-known scene.
Yeah, maybe the most well-known and well-edited scene ever. Okay, so title sequences. He did some short films, a lot of corporate films that are interesting, and Japan has released some of them on DVD and Blu-ray, I think, but all of his shorts are really interesting. And there's one in particular that blew me away. If you love genre, if you love fantasy, you need to see, hit it, Quest. Have you heard of or seen Quest?
I've definitely heard of it. I've not seen it.
Super cool, man. It's like a short. I'm going to say it's under. Let's see, what's the runtime? It's probably like 30 minutes. So not. It's a substantial short. And it's if you've seen, like, he did a feature called Phase. Is it Phase 5?
Phase 4.
Phase 4. Phase 4.
Yeah.
Yeah, and like I saw that, and I was like, okay, that was pretty cool, but it didn't. Something about Quest, you can see just from these pictures alone how neat this looks. Yeah. He uses like paintings and miniatures and all this stuff. It's about this. It's this myth of this boy who comes from nature, and he's selected to be the chosen one. It's very abstract, and there's no good version of it. And the idea that you can't get a great new transfer of this on Blu-ray, like, I would love to see this, and you could just pair it with other Saul Bass shorts.
Yeah.
So this really needs to happen.
For some reason, I'm getting like Jim Henson and Ken Russell made a baby from looking at this.
Oh, well, it's because it's showing that monster, the second one.
Yeah.
That's this like weird beast that he plays chess with in one scene. But Bass would just do these really interesting visual sequences and effects. That the sixth image that's like a black border with a collage of photos. That is a poster that Saul Bass designed. And so what I would want to do if I were tasked with this, I would want to do something that Saul Bass would have done too, and use some of that approach, make it kind of look similar to that. I really love to do things. I've done a couple Criterions actually where I didn't actually create the cover art. I just adapted a poster and tried to develop the rest of the package in a way that felt like what they would have done at the time. So I would love to handle the release of Quest,
Nice.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Wasn't 101 going to put it out? Oh, interesting. I don't know.
I have not heard about that, but that would be good to know.
Okay.
Chase that down, Sibner. If you can figure that out, that'd be good to know. Okay, so my number one is this is like the most obvious number one in the world, I feel like, because this is from a director that you can take a couple images from every single one of his films and say, oh, yeah, this person directed that. We absolutely know that. So it would never be a question. But the way that I could see using his just jarring imagery and make something minimalist out of that captures the brain in a cool way, I can't possibly imagine anyone else doing Ken Russell's The Devils.
Oh, okay.
This would be such a cool turn for you. I mean, some of the ways that, some of the more, I don't know, frenetic, I guess, designs that you've done could work well for this, with Ken Russell being just such a unique bastion for the surreal in some of his films, and you coming from like the opposite spectrum of that, I feel like could make this such a damn unique clash of styles. Okay,
cool. Yeah, certainly. I'm game. There was a great poster I saw I think it was Midnight Marauder who did it. If you tab over to my tab, let's see. Wait, oh no, it's not the same tab anymore. I need to go. Oh, yeah, it is. So right here.
Yeah.
I liked that a lot. Now, I'm sure there's lots of cool things you could do with it. Okay, cool. Well, you've given me some fun ideas. So that's
got
number
one left on yours. Yeah,
I got one left, and I don't actually know if I ranked these. So these are all five kind of equally.
Yeah.
This is one I've already done a poster for myself for fun. So would I just use this if I were to be asked to do the Blu-ray? Maybe if they let me get away with it. It is Gus Van Sant's Paranoid Park. This is one of my favorite films, period. Gus Van Sant, he's done a lot of interesting things from, his early work, My Own Private Idaho, then like a couple of Hollywood things like Good Will Hunting. But then he did this death trilogy in the 2000s with Jerry, Elephants, and Last Days. You seen any of those?
I've seen a few. I've seen My Own Private Idaho, of course.
Yeah.
I love that we talk about Psycho right before you bring up Gus Van Sant.
That's true. That's true. I even thought that was cool that he remade Psycho, and no one else thinks that, but I think it's cool. But yeah, Jerry is awesome, by the way. It's just Matt Damon and Casey Affleck as two guys named Jerry walking in a desert, and you don't know what's going on. And that is a great film. They just have a great feeling to them. And Paranoid Park he made after the Death Trilogy, and it's from the point of view of this boy, this teenage boy, and he encounters something traumatic that happens. And the whole film is him kind of just in this moment of his life, reflecting on the experience of what he just witnessed and the effect it has on him. I've never seen a film truly capture what, in my experience, it felt like to be a teenager and just the thoughts in your head. Feeling so like tender in the world and like kind of like trying to figure out who you are, but in the least cliche possible way. This is a very special film and really would love to see a Blu-ray release. And I did to show you the print I did. Let's see if it comes up on a Google search. We'll test Google's ability. Okay, not yet. But it's on my site, so I'll go there. Yeah, here we go. This is what I did for it. I know that's a very strange looking thing. You probably look at that and say, what's that? But I'm just going to let it speak for itself. That's my, that's what I did. And of course it's a pretty abstract to be a Blu-ray cover, but,
I mean, that's perfect for Gus Van Sant though, too.
Yeah. It's actually like, he has his hands over his face, and it's from a scene, a shower scene where the water is pouring down over his face. And the way they do the frame rate or something, I actually think it was okay. Christopher Doyle and Rain Lee. Christopher Doyle's a cinematographer. He did the Wong Kar-wai stuff.
Wow. And
so I'm telling you, man. And then the Rain Lee aspect is too. Rain Lee did all this skateboard footage. So he skateboards this kid with his friends. And so interspersed, you have this like DV or like 8mm maybe skateboard footage. So it's kind of a skateboarding movie too.
Nice.
Man, it's just a very powerful film. Please check it out.
Yeah, I'm going to have to see this one. I love some of those movies that just captures, I don't know, the zeitgeist of that era of skateboarding. I was always too tall and a klutz and way overweight to skateboard, but I was dying to be one of them.
Yeah, I tried to. And like, I never made it like to a skate park, but it's got those moments where like he goes to a skate park for the first time and sits on the edge, and they're like that nervousness of like, oh, am I allowed to be with these? Can I fit in with these people? And then just the freedom, like almost I think of Miyazaki, this idea of like, you're on the board and you're skating and it's like, everything is safe. Everything is perfect. Everything is fine. It hits that.
Amazing.
Yeah.
I think you missed this because we were talking about your title. Okay. Quest is a short film included on the Phase 4 release over in the UK. And Chris dug up and found that Quest was newly restored in HD for that release.
Well, see, so it's ready to go.
But it is probably region locked to region B.
Okay. Yeah, but I mean, I don't know how this works. I'm just saying, like, if there's a new restoration and it could be paired with some of the other shorts, this could be really neat.
Yeah, that would be a really fun idea. Not to mention the history of his, I don't know, like ability to craft something, like you said, iconic without using the overused version of that word.
Yeah.
To make it something that is so striking that it digs into you. Just the history on that could be very, very cool.
Cool. Patty Boy has picks for me. Made in Heaven, The Thing Called Love, They All Laughed, Blind Shaft, Bubble, and Schizopolis, 2 Soderberghs. I do love Soderbergh.
Bubble could be really cool for you.
How do you top the original art?
Yeah, that's
poster's so good. Soderbergh's posters are great. Keller House did a lot of them. He's always doing interesting posters.
That is such a cool idea. Got Bogdanovich. Yeah, that'd be fun. What's your favorite Soderbergh then?
Gut feeling. Gut goes right to Ocean's 11.
Nice.
I mean, it's just perfect, right?
It's a very, very fun movie.
I love his slower arts. I love Traffic and Solar. I love the Solaris remake. But yeah, probably Ocean's 11.
Did you ever see Aaron Brockovich that he did?
Yeah, great.
So when we were talking before we went live, Aaron Brockovich was set about 10 minutes from where I grew up. I know people that were affected by the whole real
really
thing.
Okay. Yeah, we watched that recently because my wife hadn't seen it, and there was a great one he made recently. I have to say, I hope he's not watching this. He hasn't wowed me in a while since he came back and started making films like all the time. Only one of them really, really hit for me, which was called Let Them All Talk. It was a Meryl Streep film, and not many people saw it because it went right to Max. It never even got theatricals. I think it was during COVID. But I love that one.
Yeah, I think he did that right after Kimmy, and Kimmy overshadowed that one.
Yeah.
Good stuff. So one of the last things I wanted to ask for people that are, interested in hearing your responses to all this tonight, who are some graphic designers that you love? Who are some other artists that you admire right now? Active people that every time you see something they put out, you go, damn, that's inspiring.
Oh, gosh. So many. I mean, like I said, Adam Maida, who just did he did that phase 4 that we were just talking about. Yeah. Adam's great, man. Drew, Sister Hyde, my friend Brandon Schaefer, who I did the Poster Boys podcast with. We did that for a few years, maybe 4 years or so. We did a graphic design podcast that's still out there if you want to listen to me talk about poster design and different luminaries from film posters throughout the decades. And Brandon's just a workhorse, man. He always does nice things. And Akiko is a friend of Akiko Sternberger. I will brag every day that she is a friend of mine because she is the most talented poster designer in the game. Just period. Like she paints. So like she did the Funny Games US theatrical poster, that close up of Naomi Watts crying, and that is a painting. So she's capable of doing these photorealistic paintings, but also just like great concepts that are like funny, So definitely follow Doi Rivetive on Instagram. And there's now a book out of Akiko's work called Akiko-matic that I would highly recommend.
Nice.
So yeah, those are a few that come to mind, But I mean, I really am more. I'm not saying more. There's a lot of great people doing work right now, of course. But I really just my biggest inspirations are stuff from the past. The Polish greats, the Cuban poster artists. Hans Hillman is a German designer. If you want to discover someone, Hans Hillman. He did all these German posters that actually ended up, long story short, inspiring Janus Films to make some of their first posters, including that one for Donkey Skin, which then led to Criterion. And there's a whole history, as you kind of retrace the steps of graphic design history, which is still young as an academic field. But you're learning about more of these important people that were doing it, and in these idealistic conditions where they could just do whatever they want for a poster, and they don't have an email of 20 people on it all chiming in, or they don't have to use contractual obligations for actors and things like this. But yeah, I love poster design history and modern history.
Have there been any projects that you've had, we'll say, restrictions put on you that you've not enjoyed? Because I'm sure that this is one thing that a lot of people worry about. You just did a cinematograph title, and last year one of the biggest complaints was Little Darlings, the title they put out, that they didn't get permission to use the likeness, and so a lot of people didn't love that they couldn't see the faces, and they made a choice. This scatter that looks like brown and could have been a little bit better, but anything like that is tough for you to work around sometimes.
Well, see, I have the other perspective on that one, which is I never even thought twice about that. I was like, that's a cool cover, and now that makes sense to me that's why they did it that way. And I would always say, and it's totally okay if you didn't like that cover, but there's always a reason for something. Like people love to just whatever armchair quarterback graphic design. They love to say, it's stupid. Why did they do this? Why did they do that? And there's usually a reason. And it's sometimes it's these contract things. You do the best with what you got. And with the time, the budget, the brief, the restrictions, I've been pretty lucky. Like there haven't been a lot of things I've worked on that have had strict contractual stuff. But the cinematograph one that I did for Last of the Red Hot Lovers, that was hard because if you see that cover I did, I actually have one right here I can show you.
Other current titles that Sam has worked on: A Tale of Sorrow and Sadness from Radiance. Them Rock from Radiance is also another one that you just did.
Yes, that's an insane film. Like if Them Rock is not on your radar, put it on your radar now. Like trust me. So this one, Last of the Red Hot Lovers, you see how much writing is on this. This is all because it had to be that way. I had to come up with a solution that was just like fit so much stuff. And I know it's a scribbly mess, but I was just like, it's just going to be a scribbly mess. It's going to be a tic-tac-toe with lip prints. And he makes notes on napkins in the movie. So I was like, it could maybe feel like that.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, Arkin had to be literally 70% of the title size. And then the three actresses had to be the same height. And this is how this goes back to a contract from the original poster that you still have to honor, where the actors have these clauses and their name have to appear equally. So the three of these actresses have to appear as the same size as Alan Arkin. And so already there, that's so much. And then everything else had to be at this size too and had to be included. So basically you're looking at a poster that's all text.
Yeah.
Unless you go real small with it, but then you can't see what it's saying because it's so that was tricky. And then actually I'm doing another cinematograph. I think you alluded to it, but it's not been announced yet. Did you say you have one coming?
No, that's the one that I've ordered that I have not got yet.
Oh, this is the one? Okay.
Yes.
So there's another one coming that I did for Justin. It'll be announced soon. And that one had an actor likeness situation where we could not get approval on one of the likenesses ultimately. And I had to change something about it. It was minor, but I try to, that's one of the nice things about just coming up with like conceptual covers. You don't have to worry as much about actors. But yeah, no, if you're doing like real movie posters for big agencies and big studios, which I don't, I can't compete with the big agencies that produce 100 poster concepts for, whatever, big movie. But then you're dealing with a lot more of those restrictions. But it's fun to have restrictions, like the 5 obstructions, it creates creativity, if you have no limitations, then you're just making 5 Avatar movies for the next 20 years. That's not interesting.
Well said.
Sorry to throw shots fired, but that's not interesting at all. You've lost all sense of creative restriction. That's not interesting. What's interesting is you making The Abyss when you did. That's cool.
Right.
So sorry, I had to go off there for a second.
I completely agree. And I love that, The Abyss comes out in 1989 and a year of aquatic horror things that just, it all struck at once. And it makes it just this unique like subculture of film at that moment.
Speaking of 1989, I'm going to shout back to something I mentioned earlier. I found for you my steel case CD of the Prince Batman soundtrack.
Amazing.
Yeah. Now, the only thing I wish I had is the Bat Discman from Batman Returns so that I could use this in that. But it is a cool special edition of the prints. This movie was pretty formative for me. 8 years old, 9 years old.
Yeah.
This is cool because it's a round booklet.
Oh, nice.
And it's just got the regular soundtrack in there, but it's a cool disc.
Yeah.
So if you're a Batman '89 fan, this is a nice little eBay thing you can look for.
Very nice. I love that it's black on the outside too, and they didn't put the yellow on there.
Yeah, totally.
Oh man, that's really rad. Any Criterion cover art that you look at that wasn't you and isn't an original poster that you go, damn, I wish I designed that?
Oh, so many. We did a whole Poster Boys episode on that. So God, I don't know where to begin, honestly. Jeez. I mean, any of the Keller House stuff, Neil Keller House, and his company. A couple other designers were involved in some of them, but they did some great ones that really got me into Criterion, like Walkabout. Gosh, I'm trying to think. There's so many. Jay Shaw, who I love, he's a friend, and he's one of my favorite designers. He's not doing much anymore, but he did he had a period of Mondo stuff, and Jay Shaw did Repo Man. I thought that's a great one. I was like, I wish I had done that.
Yeah,
or thought of that, or been able to do that. Oh God, there's so many, man. But we did a Poster Boys episode of top 10 Criterion covers, and so if you want to find out on Spotify, I do go through my 10 favorites.
Nice.
So you guys can check that out for further.
One more I wanted to shout out that's amazing. Your print for Kumiko.
This
is a friend of mine. He swears by this movie. It's like one of his favorite films from the last 20 years. Cool. Your art perfectly captures so much about that film. How it's just easy to get lost in, essentially, kind of like the film.
That's cool.
Beautiful colors. Really like what you did with it. Incredible choices.
Thank you. They just reused it last year for the 10th anniversary. And the original piece we did, it is a screen print, and it is a 24 by 36 10 color silkscreen, which is it's pretty rare for me to design something that has that many layers of color, and it's expensive to make a print that's that complex. But yeah, I've got some in my flat file. I might have to get your address.
I participate a lot, and I don't know if you know many people that do this. There are Facebook groups dedicated to screen print commissions.
Yes.
And I have, I don't know, probably 15 here, which is a lot.
Oh, cool.
Just you join a group, and there's usually less than 50 people that are literally privately commissioning an artist to come up with a design. And some of the best silk screen print designs are coming from these random ass groups. And then you see the art used in other places for years to come because it becomes so great. Like Graham Humphreys is doing stuff in some of these groups. Suspiria. There's so much that's just beautiful, beautiful, beautiful art.
Yeah, and I've never really kind of entered that world. Like with Mondo, I never did any Mondo things. They never asked me, which is fine. I mean, it would have been cool, but I never became like a screen print artist that people collect. Although the house poster is like I said, like kind of my one famous thing that if I were to do one more edition, I probably will, but it'll be a large edition. I know that print will sell and people will want it, but most print collectors don't know who I am, just because I haven't done any Mondo, and you got to do Mondo or else no one knows who you are. But those commissions are cool. And Brandon, my co-host I mentioned, he does some of those.
I wanted to bring up one last thing, and this is not meant to end on a negative or anything, but fucking AI, Sam. We probably should talk about this because, man, the tendency lately to see cover art on a release that is, quote, bad in somebody's mind, and the first thing they say, this is AI because it's bad. How do we get out of this point? How do we scrutinize these things in a way that is meaningful to the artist and respectful to the artist without accusing people? And how do we keep this filled with integrity?
God, man, I mean, that's such a big question, and it's all about visual literacy and truth. it's, if you've been following what's been happening culturally in this country for the last 20 years, and it's the internet's fault, and it's, certain influential, without getting into politics, it's just like we've lost the ability to even discern what is, or even regulate the idea of discerning what is real. And so the bigger problem is not DVDs and Blu-rays. It's that you can't even look at a photo anymore until,
right.
I mean, people like me can kind of still tell, but you're going to have deep fakes of all kinds of stuff that's going to cause major world problems. I guarantee you.
Yeah.
So when it comes to Blu-ray, it's like, it's less of a, it's less significant,
It's less
but you're right that, I mean, gosh, I always try to encourage people to just stay informed. You can't expect the average person to, especially at the rate AI is progressing and generative imagery is progressing with Midjourney, and now Chat GPT getting kind of catching up to Midjourney. I've really tried to stay informed about it myself. I am not a black or white person on this. I think that everything you do, if something's inevitably happening, then go ahead and figure out how you can use it as a tool and evolve. Might as well. And then you can always not use it, but good to like know what's going on.
Yeah.
But God, it's just, it is hard to tell. It's it's the devil in the details usually, with like even spotting AI. It's not what you asked me. You asked me how to defend a real artist from being accused as AI. And I don't know. I just think that, yeah, I don't know about that one. I would just say it speaks to the lack of thorough critical thinking in our visual culture. And
there is a crucial lack of media literacy across every single
in general. Yeah, not just visual, but reading, information, truth, all of it. The people who want to be literate in these areas will, and most people find that a lot of people find that it's easy just to coast and accept the reality they're presented. And I don't know, man. What do you do? I don't know. Rewind 25 years and do things differently? I don't know.
It's an odd time.
It's an odd time, but I've used AI. Now, I'm against AI in general as a harmful kind of resource.
Yeah.
But it is being used. I don't eat a lot of meat. I don't really eat meat, but people are not going to stop eating meat on the entire planet. Even though I think it is great to be vegan, and I'm trying, and my wife's vegan, and like, I can't expect the whole world to do it. So I can't expect there's not going to just be an end to AI imagery. So it's here. Understand it. Know that in a year from now, it's going to be even more impossible and complicated. I personally believe it's always about what you do with the tools. Just like synthesizers did not put trumpet players out of work or string musicians out of work. And I've used generative imagery. I mean, I'm not afraid to say this. I've used generative imagery in recent jobs, but I use it in a way that is a means to an end, and I will bring my human touch to that, right, and use it as a tool to help me achieve something more easily or in a way that I couldn't otherwise do. But just creating generative imagery of yourself as an action figure and posting on Instagram, you're not really practicing what you preach. And most people,
all the Miyazaki forms.
Yeah. And anyway, I try to see all angles of that too. It's like, bless everyone's heart, they just love Ghibli and they want to see their dog as Ghibli. They don't mean to be, pushing us further into the brink of apocalypse. They just, right. So, humans are endearing that way.
Yeah.
But, like, the good thing is with our interests, I mean, I don't think AI is going to replace any of these, Blu-ray. I mean, no, I don't even see a company. If someone made like an all AI generated Blu-ray cover, I mean, they've come close. Like those Civil War posters were whack, but that was only because people spotted the errors, and that was almost 2 years ago now, and those errors don't exist anymore. I don't know. I still believe art's and humans will thrive.
And see, that's to me like Sibner in the chat is talking about how musicians use stuff like that to tweak and fix small things, and that's why some of the classic songs from history, there are actual human errors that you can hear in those things that give it that taste and character that are just amazing to hold on to. I love it.
Yeah, the chat is really more active on this than I've seen all night, and it's true. Flickering Waves, William, mentioning a album cover I just did by William Tyler. If you love instrumental music, definitely check that out. But yeah, Photoshop. Yeah, exactly. Photoshop has already been using. I mean, the whole thing with the Brutalists and everyone going on this high horse about the vocal stuff. Like, guys, you can't okay, I'm not going to throw Avatar under the bus again, but computers have been helping achieve things forever, like
since they existed. Yeah.
So yeah, learn just informing yourself, critical thinking are good.
I don't think anybody in the chat would do it, but the amount of times that we're seeing people on social media specifically to say, I don't like this cover art, it is bad, therefore it was probably done by AI.
Yeah. Okay. See, I haven't seen a lot of that.
It's a lot of reductive reasoning, and it makes zero sense whatsoever.
Well, yeah, and I'm trying to look for the silver lining. At least it's showing that people don't want AI.
Right.
It's misapplied, and we don't want to hurt artists' feelings. I've seen a lot of artists get ripped off, or some AI does happen to look like someone's art. But I have to hope that people there is like a certain watchdog mentality about AI that if you're not like an AI bro, you're pretty much kind of like, we agree like on just basic common sense principle that, we don't want to make AI make art. No, AI is supposed to help us do all the crap we don't want to do. Exactly. Not make art. Making art is the only thing that humans do that other animals don't. I mean, okay, you could, of course, I think other animals do make art. Birdhouse, bird nests or whatever. But yes. you see what I'm saying? It's like it's the human spirit, and it's always going to be there.
I agree. Fun way to end it, I guess. Sam, this has been amazing. Anything that you want to share with the people that you've worked on recently that you've announced that you can't talk about?
Well, I have announced the Obayashi project.
Oh, nice. I alluded to that. I don't want to say anything.
We probably should have led with that. I'm doing 4 Obayashi titles, hopefully, as long as the plan goes in place. Cult Epics is releasing them on US Blu-ray. I got in touch with Cult Epics when I heard about the news, and I just offered my services, and it's working out this way. So can't say which one is first, but the first one's will be announced soon. I'm excited. Obayashi is amazing, so I'm excited to. I can't make covers that are as good as House. It's not going to be as good as House. But I'm excited to do those. So look out for those for sure. Follow my socials. Follow Cult Epics.
Yep. These are 4 beautiful movies, and
yes.
They're going to be some really fun releases of these.
Definitely fan favorites for the last 20 years, almost 20 years since House hit the scene. So yeah, that's coming up. Like I said, a couple of things I can't talk about yet. But yeah, Brimstone and Treacle, Thimrock, Love Crime, all available now. They're not, none of those are, well, Red Hot Lovers is out. Others you can pre-order at Vincent and Radiance. So yeah, you'll follow all my socials to see some Blu-rays I'm working on. It's cool to be part of some of the boutiques right now. I don't know if I'll be doing them forever. I'm just kind of like I said, I might pivot into some different things. I love doing album art. I love doing illustrations for all sorts of things.
Got a game coming?
Hopefully got this game coming. So stay tuned.
Excited for that.
Yeah.
All right, everybody. Thanks for hanging out tonight.
Yeah, thank you.
As usual, my pitch, if you want to continue conversations like this, join the Patreon, the link in the description below. We got a Discord associated with the community. We'd love to have you.
I used to do the Discord.
We would love to see some background on the art in there. They would be all over that, I promise. Other than that, come back next week. It's going to be another fun conversation. We got some stuff that I believe is getting announced this week that is going to be a fun one. John Daly, who is Rock Chudson online, video editor. He is somebody that I work with on stuff for TerraVision and some other stuff. Will be the guest again next week, so come check that out. It'll be a good time. Sam, you're incredible. Hope we can do this again.
Thanks, Ryan. It's so awesome to meet you and connect. And yeah, I'm game to do it again and I'll be following the show. Thanks for everything you're doing, man. You're like a major figurehead in this community, just in terms of the services, the giving nature of everything you're doing. I think it's awesome, and you have a damn great voice.
Well,
I mean, yeah, I'm sure that's how you got into. No, I mean, people have told you that, I'm sure.
I've only been told that once ever in my life. So I swear.
Chat, back me up. Chat is about, you are made for. They say radio. They would say.
When I grew up, my first job was at Carl's Jr. in California, and I had a car full of 40-year-old women that pulled up and said, "Can you give us directions to the highway?" And I'm like, "It's right there. You can see it." And they're like, "No, just tell us."
Yeah. Love it. Love it.
Thanks for that.
Yeah, Wave says good voice. Yeah.
We'll see y'all next Thursday. Be safe. It's Easter Sunday. Have a good, safe Easter, and we'll talk soon. See y'all. Thank you for watching The Disconnected. On the way out, make sure that you are subscribed to the channel, that you've liked the video, and that you've copied the link to be able to share it with someone else that may appreciate this.
Hey, this is Jason Kleberg from the Force 5 podcast, a show that forces a guest to come up with a movie-themed top 5 list topic, and then we reveal our picks on air. Top 5 heist films, top 5 tearjerkers, top 5 movie dogs. Every show you'll be asking yourself, what would be on my list? Guests include directors, screenwriters, actors, podcasters, musicians, authors, and even a professional wrestler. Subscribe to the Force 5 podcast, and you won't just be a listener, you'll be a list nerd. The Force 5 podcast, available wherever you're listening now.
Thank you for listening. To hear more shows from the Someone's Favorite Productions podcast network, please select the link in the description